Punchlines for March 6, 2026, the 410th day of the Sex Offender Administration. Donald Trump on Thursday announced that Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem will be stepping down at the end of the month and tapping Senator Markwayne Mullin, Republican for Oklahoma, to take over her post. Noem on Tuesday told the Senate panel that Trump approved the multi-million-dollar ad campaign and Trump says he did not. A clear case of she lies, he lies more. Stocks tumbled Thursday, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average shedding almost 800 points as oil prices jumped amid the war with Iran. Higher energy prices are sparking concerns on Wall Street that they could reignite U.S. inflation. It is going to make it easier to retire. If you were tired of Trump before, it'll be a lot easier to be tired of him the second time around. Britney Spears was arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence in Southern California on Wednesday night. Spears was pulled over near Westlake Boulevard, showed signs of impairment, and was given field sobriety tests, and she was then arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence of a combination of drugs and alcohol. Or as Spears might sing it, oops, I did it again. Authorities in Utah have identified the man taken into custody on suspicion of killing 3 women as Ivan Miller. 2 of the women were found dead on a hiking trail, and a third was found dead in a residence. The Wayne County Sheriff's Office released Miller's name on social media around 10:30 a.m. local time. Officials did not share any other details about Miller or what connection, if any, he had to the victims. I think killing them would be connection enough. This has been the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll with headlines and punchlines for March 6, 2026, the 410th day of the Sex Offender Administration. Join me live at the Church of Last Resort, Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on MindDog TV.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
No, I say. Nay, no. Why? I don't think I like it. Nay.
And hot.
All right.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
I'll push a button. Get a little bright, right? And
my dog is your mind's best friend.
Right.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
I'm just going to say, if you want to lend me money, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I know I'm not supposed to say fuck this early into a broadcast. It doesn't matter. I'm getting all these credit people saying I'm approved for this, but you're just burning your money. You're approving me for stuff. I'm going to die and never pay it back. Then I'm not going to get it from my wife. So why are you even bothering offering me money? Good morning! Hey, it's Friday. Making it make sense today. It's Friday, March 6th, 2026. I believe our friend Jackie Martling is at McGuire's in Bohemia tonight. Either that or Brokerage in Belmore. They're only about 60 miles apart. So if you go to McGuire's, if he's not there, you just get in your car and drive an hour, and it'll be just finishing up at the Brokerage. Anyway, we're going to make it make sense today. Tom Farrell in second hour because he's a comedian, and comedians don't wake up early, except for Ron Kane. Because GD still is not calling himself a comedian, and thank God for that. But, it's Feynman is killing me. Richard Feynman. And you know I love Feynman. You know I love Feynman by now. If you follow the program, you know I got a man crush, a boy crush, a dude crush on Richard Feynman. He's dead. Been dead since 1988. But last night I watched this thing of why, as you get older, sleep feels more like death. Oh boy. And how it's harder to sleep as you get older. It gets harder to get into deep sleep. It's almost impossible to have deep sleep. And listen, having coffee doesn't help, but one cup really doesn't make that much. It's age. And I learned that there is a thing called fatal insomnia. Yeah, yes, fatal insomnia. And everybody who gets it dies. If you can't, people lose the ability to actually get into deep sleep, and it is fatal. And the last thing you want to do is tell a hypochondriac like me that not sleeping is going to kill him. I got enough anxiety in my life. That's going to keep me up. And so I'm thinking about that. Now, obviously, I hadn't got 1 second of deep sleep last night. I didn't get any sleep. And I'm thinking I'm going to die. No, that's not necessarily a bad thing. But he says that as you get older, sleep becomes a rehearsal for death. A dress rehearsal or an undressed rehearsal, depending on what you wear to bed at night, I guess. But so I'm just I'm confused, and my cognitive ability is impaired, and my brain is poisoning itself. This is what I found out last night. And of course, hypochondria aside, all that is true. I mean, it was true before I learned it, but now the anxiety on top of all that. And then I got people telling me, the best cure for depression is not to talk about your problem. It's just to get out and do stuff. The problem is when you're depressed, it's almost impossible to get out and do something. So I sit here and talk about it every day, and it gets worse. So I'm a hypochondriac with fatal insomnia and depression and anxiety, and I'm all yours for the next 2.5 hours or whatever it takes. Tom Farrell, as I mentioned, is going to be on the talk Make It Make Sense. And speaking of Feynman, Tom Farrell is from Rockaway. Feynman is from Far Rockaway originally. So close enough. Maybe he probably doesn't even know anything about Heavy Kev is saying write a song. I can't. I'm depressed. Not depressed. I'm fatally insomniac. So I guess I'll stay up at night and write a song. By the way, Heavy Kev, we got a New Zealander coming on. I think next week, maybe the week after. I don't know. GD Loves Dick. That's going to be the title of the program. GD Loves Dick. It will be Dick's third time putting Dick in GD's mouth. No, putting something. But anyway, yesterday, if you didn't catch the program, Richard Sparks, one of the most delightful guests ever, he will be back. He was fun to talk to. I learned something about Monty Python yesterday. First of all, they were going to tape over Monty Python just to save a couple of bucks on tape. How fucked up is that? Oh, I'm getting instant message right now in a number of different places. What did I say? What did I do? Why are people starting with me? Anyway, making it make sense. You know what will help you make sense of everything in this world? What will help you make sense of everything in this world? Well, let me tell you what will help you make sense. I should lower this down before I even click the button, right? Because I want to play this, and I want to go like this, and then I want to tell you about wineexpress.com. Wineexpress.com? Let me tell you about wineexpress.com. Can I tell you about wineexpress.com? Wineexpress.com. How about that? Oh, you want me to tell you about it? Well, wineexpress.com is the exclusive wine shop partner of the Wine Enthusiast catalog and website. Wine Enthusiast. Anyway, they have been providing quality wines and accessories and storage for up to 40 years. Store my wine, will you? Because I have I have wine, but I don't have a wine cellar, and that really bums me out. So you just hold on to it for me. During that time, they've served millions of satisfied customers and built a loyal following of avid wine lovers, which we like to call winos. winos. I don't know if you know this about people who love wine, but we call them winos. It's only natural then for them to have teamed up with a great wine shop to bring their customers first quality wines at value prices. And if you spend every last penny you have, you don't have to pay for shipping. So just get a lot of wine, drink up, and enjoy the suffering, I guess. I guess that's what we'll say about it. As I fade out slowly and gracefully, watch this cool little DJ thing I do. It's called Fading Out Slowly and Gracefully. In the room with me now, first of all, the aforementioned Ron Kane, who is a comedian, and he actually does get up early, which is kind of weird. And also in the room with me now, a man who loves dick and wine, GD Fenderson. Good morning, GD.
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com. St. Patrick's Day is 11 days away. Plenty of time for
You
you to
said
go
that
to...
yesterday.
Okay, 10 days away. It's close. It's getting close. And it's getting, every day it gets closer. Every day it gets 1 day closer. Imagine that.
I think you were more right today, but fine. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just do that.
Well, there's a difference between shopping days and actual days.
Oh,
See?
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know which one I said because I keep getting interrupted. I can't remember shit. Okay.
Fire me.
Go to MindDogTV.com/merch to order your St. Patrick's gear. Spend your green on our green. Right. MindDogTV.com. Support your local merchandise and enjoy the suffering.
Enjoy everything. Enjoy suffering. I'm enjoying my suffering because I can't sleep at night and I have fatal insomnia. Have you ever heard of fatal insomnia?
Is that the insomnia you have that once you fall asleep, you don't wake up?
No, you just wake up dead, right?
Well, yeah. People, he's according to Feynman anyway, and this is like a 1986 lecture that he did. People at
I'm sick of this Feynman guy. He's dead, right? What does he know about insomnia?
Well, he didn't sleep well, but there's this thing where, and it's not like a high percentage of people, but there's some people when they get older, absolutely lose all capability of falling asleep. No, they never fall asleep again, and it gradually kills them. I mean,
I don't think that's exactly true. I think they fall asleep at least one more time.
Yes, Stephen King wrote a book called Insomnia, which is about that. It's about an older guy who suddenly, he gets insomnia because he's getting older, and he can like hear the clicking of time and shit like that.
So here's the thing, though. If you're going to put out a video like that or anything, you should put a warning. If you're a hypochondriac, click off this fucking thing right now. Don't listen. Because people like me, you could say ovarian cancer. I got it. You just can't mention diseases to me because I'm going to accept that I have it, and then I'm going to act like I have it.
And you watch that before bed?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. He does this to himself, and then we hear about it the next day.
But if there were a disclaimer, if it would have said, if you're a hypochondriac, don't watch this, I would have obeyed the rules of not watching.
Matt, it doesn't matter what you watch. If you're a hypochondriac, no matter what they talk about, you think you got it. They could be talking about...
If it was talking about why airplanes can't fly, I'm not going to think, wow, gee, I got airplane can't fly.
You're going to think the same thing. You're going to like, shit, I can't fly, and I'm an airplane? I don't know. Maybe I'm a bumblebee, because bumblebees are swimming, but airplanes do fly, but I can't fly. So maybe I'm an airplane. Maybe I'm a broken airplane. Oh, shit, I'm a broken airplane. I need to see a mechanic.
All right. Making it make sense. And this is part of because I'm not sleeping well. I'm not quick enough to remember. The other day, you were talking about the airplanes can't fly. You said there's lift and drag equations. Well, it turns out, and he proved this in front of all the professors who were teaching lift and drag equations. The lift
and thrust. There's also thrust.
It's all wrong equations, and the reason they're wrong is there's a part in there that just assumes that the speed of the air over the wing and under the wing are exactly the same, and they will meet up after the wing. And where did that come from? Nowhere. There's no proof of that, and it actually doesn't happen in 99.9999% of the time. But it's been taught that way. Oh, we were teaching this equation, and then he pointed out to all these physicists, the equation's wrong, and they went, he's right. Where did we get that from? Somebody just put that in there because they couldn't make it make sense. So, well, we'll just throw that in there. That sounds right, and it was all wrong.
Well, let's put it this way: if they base their equations to make airplanes fly on that equation, and the equation is wrong, but airplanes still fly, I think there's someone else out there that's wrong. Because let's put it this way. I know airplanes fly. I just flew on one. Even if it's the only airplane that ever flew, it flew.
That's true. He's not saying airplanes don't fly. He's saying nobody knows exactly why they fly because the equations are all wrong.
But earlier, and this is what started it, you said they're not supposed to fly. And
they're not supposed to fly.
And I said they're not supposed to fly, then they can't fly. But they are flying, so they are supposed to fly.
That's
maybe we don't know why
that's not true. And there's a guy who debunks you pretty good on YouTube.
He's wrong though, but he's wrong.
No, he's not wrong because he came out with the buoyancy of bumblebees and the
I don't care if he came out of the closet wearing a bumblebee outfit.
But it debunks you, stupid. Thank you.
Why do you got to resort to the name calling? Okay?
because you're being a dick. A stupid dick. He debunks you with the fact that bumblebees should not be able to fly, but they don't know that, and they fly anyway.
Again, it's a matter of the word should. Okay? If something shouldn't happen, it doesn't happen.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Things that occur because
a bridge shouldn't fall on a truck. A bridge fell on a truck.
There are events that led up to that bridge falling onto that truck.
It shouldn't happen.
Those events not happened, maybe the bridge shouldn't have fallen. But because those events did happen, all of those events led to the fact that that bridge collapsed at that moment that truck was underneath of it.
No, nothing happened. The bridge just fell.
Obviously, something happened. Gravity was there. Something happened.
No, nothing happened.
Just because you don't know what happened doesn't mean nothing happened. See, that's the problem with all these other people that talk about things that shouldn't.
No, the problem is you just need to be right about things you don't know about, and argue with Nobel Prize winning physicists and a room full of Nobel Prize winning physicists. But you're going to be right when they have to be wrong.
Because I have evidence on my side.
You don't have evidence on your side. You don't even know the subject, but you pronounce yourself an expert in things you don't know about.
I didn't pronounce myself an expert.
Yes, you did. When you're saying you know more than everybody at MIT, Caltech,
and I didn't say I know more than them. I'm saying they're wrong about this. That's totally different. Because it's the way they're using should. Okay, the way I'm using should. It may be different from the way they're using should, but if something happened, it should have happened because the events led up to that happening.
No, there were no events leading up to that happening.
Okay, if I'm in my driveway, ordinarily people would think that should not get hit by lightning. I should not, on a sunny day, in theory, I should not be struck by lightning. I've been struck by lightning twice. Of course, it wasn't a sunny day, but the point is that I survived, and the reason I survived because I was wearing a rubber suit, and I was standing next to something that drew some of the electricity away.
Talk about straw man. Nobody said you shouldn't get struck by lightning. Nobody's coming out and saying that's against the law of physics. By all physics and all that we know about physics, it is literally shouldn't happen. Nobody's ever said that.
I said in my driveway on a sunny day. That's what I said first.
Still doesn't matter. There's no law in physics that says that shouldn't happen.
I said if someone said I shouldn't be.
If someone said that, but nobody said that. If I won the lottery, but I didn't win the lottery.
Well, how can I do a hypothetical if I don't say if?
Because we're talking about what the science says and what the outcome really is.
I'm trying to give an example, and you're going to argue with me over my example, and I'm not even finishing my example.
Because you're making up a straw man example. You're saying something that nobody ever said shouldn't happen. Give me something that somebody said shouldn't happen according to the science.
And if you're listening out there, thank you for tuning in to two old men arguing in a diner. So join us for our next episode tomorrow.
What diner? I'll have a bacon, egg, and cheese.
Your egg sandwich, right?
What is a diner?
It's a movie with some guys that used to. I can't remember their name. You remember who was in Diner? was
Steve Gutenberg was in Diner.
It's funny. I can see his face, but I was thinking I had 4 other names for him.
I got to get him on with. I got to get him to do a Long Island Sign Guy thing. He is on my mailing list, Steve Gutenberg. He was actually a Willie fan, believe it or not. Something Willie said resonated with him, and then great episode, and then he got on the mailing list somehow. Steve Gutenberg. He hasn't done anything since like Three Men and a Baby, Three Babies and a Man.
He pops up every now and then
in movies.
Yeah, movies and like TV series. Yeah, I've seen him pop up here and there in certain shows. It's weird seeing him because he has like all this plastic surgery now. So.
No, I see, because he's do not every day, but once a week or twice a week, he's out in New York City and he's doing all these reels. He's Mr. Positivity. Like he's looking for the ray of sunshine in a dark and cloudy day. And he's trying to find something positive in everything. He's always Mr. Smiles and stuff. It's just like, dude, that doesn't resonate with me. I'm Mr. Doom and Gloom. Give me something like we're all going to hell, and I'll be a big fan forever. That's what
I meant to mention. Since speaking of Gutenberg, I mentioned the Gutenberg Bible the other day when we were talking about it. And just so you know, a complete Gutenberg Bible sells for about $25 million.
Whoa.
Okay, that's the thing that he said. That's the thing that you guess that didn't exist. I don't think that's a Gutenberg Bible. You're talking about the Gutenberg Press. I'm talking about the Gutenberg Bible, but they're not in print anymore. That's why it is so valuable.
Who were we talking about that with?
The guest that we had on, the guy with the signs, I think.
Oh, the sign guy. Yeah, I never heard of a Gutenberg Bible. When you said it, I'm thinking like Trump Bible. Like
chapter 16 about Bobcat Goldthwait is amazing.
Bobcat Goldthwait from Syracuse, New York.
No, you're talking about the Gutenberg Bible. I mean, Bobcat Goldthwait has to be in the Gutenberg Bible.
What? Why?
Because Bobcat's important to Steve's career. We're talking about Police Academy.
Is he? Where's the connection between them two? I don't know.
They were in Police Academy 2 together, and possibly 3.
Wow, I did not know that. But that's what's one T Gutenberg, right? And now, was Gutenberg a guy? What?
Okay, if I remember correctly, I didn't research it, but Gutenberg invented a Gutenberg press. He invented a printing press, and I believe that's where the Gutenberg Bible got its name from, because he was printing predominantly. I think the Gutenberg Bible was from the press. I think somebody else can correct me, because again, I did not research it. I wasn't expecting that question, but he was a person.
Yeah, I don't know, because I went Gutenberg free a couple years ago, so I couldn't tell you.
Well, what makes a Gutenberg is just because it's rare? I mean, is it
very rare?
No different Jesus stories in there. It's all the same stories, the same.
Look, I just know that there's a Gutenberg Bible. At least there were Gutenberg Bibles. I remember.
It sounds Jewish. Gutenberg sounds Jewish.
Could be.
It might not have the real book. It's got the first book.
I was just letting y'all know that it really did exist, because y'all doubted me.
So who said? No, I didn't doubt you. I never heard of it.
Yeah, that's it. Y'all, you guys. I think you mean Gutenberg Press, and that's what they printed. No, the guest said that.
Oh.
Yeah, it tracks the rise of porn in the 70s, or that might be Boogie Nights. I'm not sure. I don't know.
That is the Gutenberg Boogie Nights version.
Wait, what about the porn in the 70s?
I said the 70s. That's when the rise of porn really began.
Is that when? I don't know.
Well, I think
it's just kind of sprinkled in the 60s. Then the 70s was the full ramp up.
Yeah, I thought Deep Throat, and what was the one with Marion Chambers?
Behind the Green Door.
She would. Yeah, it might have been her first one, right? She was Ivory Snow Girl.
I think that's Behind the Green Door, Behind the Red Door.
Deep Throat is Deep Throat is like the very first like mainstream porn, because that was released in theaters. Then,
somebody I saw the other day somebody was nominated for an Oscar for an X-rated movie in 1972. I forget who it was. It was a name that most people were reading. I know, but I'm thinking it was probably Last Tango in Paris. Marlon Brando, but that wasn't really pornography, was it?
Yeah, they always like to say, "Oh, because he put butter inside her," and
what?
Yeah, there's a scene that involves a stick of butter in that movie.
Butter? If it's not butter, I can't believe it's not. Whatever.
I can't believe this changed your pH.
I can't even spell tango. Look at me with my blind eyes. And who was in that besides Marlon Brando? Who's the woman in there? But she was nominated for a Best Actress for who was it?
Marilyn Chambers was the one behind the Green Door.
And the year? Do we have a year on that?
72. Same year as Deep Throat. I don't know which one came out first.
Wow.
But they both came out in 72. I'm going to trust Ron's expertise on this.
Well, here's a fun fact. That movie, the Marilyn Chambers movie Up and Coming, I remember my stepdad had that on Laserdisc.
Oh, now the Pioneer Laserdisc?
Yes.
Yep. Oh, okay.
Yep. Put that big shiny CD in.
This is going to get us some YouTube demonetization here. But the guy who abused Andy Andrus. You guys know the story about Andy? Andy's father was disabled. He was in a hospital, and his roommate in the hospital room decided, I want to take your kid to the movies. Now, Andy was a young boy at the time, and by taking him to the movies, he meant take him to the Betamax store and get some porn and bring him back to a motel and jerk him off. And that went on for years. And he was like, anyway, that guy, one of the movies he rented was this Marilyn Chambers movie. I think it might have been called Up and Coming. I'm not sure, but basically there's a scene in there where she gets stranded on the side of the road and she runs out of gas or something, and the guy comes by and he's going to help her out, and she ends up blowing him and getting a load all over his face or whatever. And then years later, Andy had this thing where he kept running wherever he would. He would never have enough gas to get where he was, and he'd run out of gas. And people, and we finally kind of made the connection once. I think Brett Erickson saw the movie, said, "Oh, this all starts to make sense now. Andy's running out of gas fetish wherever he goes. He thinks some chick's going to come by and just help him and blow him or something." But that movie definitely made an indelible mark on Andy's psyche. Is the point I was making.
So, yeah, that's a film.
I don't know. That should be in the reviews. I don't see any major stars in this Last Tango in Paris. Maybe it
was Brando and I forget who was in Last Tango. Brando and
Maria Schneider. Yeah, Maria Schneider was. But I don't think Best Actress. I mean, getting Best Actress taking butter in the vagina. Or was it in the vagina? Well, tell me it was in the vagina, not any other orifice.
I shall return, peoples.
Was it salted butter or unsalted? Because that makes a difference.
Probably in those days, I'm going to say salted.
Right.
That was true butter, or maybe lard. Maybe you could use lard.
Heavy Kev says, I watched The Professional tonight. Good New York film. What is that? I'm not. You talking?
Oh, okay. If he's talking about that's a movie from the 90s, which has like a 12-year-old Natalie Portman in it, and she plays she's helping out an assassin.
Natalie Portman, Dix Hills resident. Dix Hills, Long Islander. The only reason I know that is there was a guy in the Long Island music scene thing who was obsessed with her for some reason, like he's stalking her. I think he got in trouble for that. What's going on?
Hey Matt, I saw your post about you selling the rest of your gigging equipment. So how do you feel about that? Is it like a bittersweet feeling?
No, well, it was the bittersweetness comes from the fact that I undersold it. I beat myself on every fucking deal, but I kind of probably put out the wrong impression with that. I didn't sell all my gear. I sold all my electric stuff, all the stuff for gigging with the band. I'm still doing acoustic gigs.
Well, yeah, no, I knew that, but I meant just like from, that transition from no longer playing to a band to just,
again, it really, the fact that I ripped myself off on the deal, but playing with the band, I don't know if you know about this. the pay scale hasn't increased since 1972 when I first started, and you're still doing any gig. Like if you're going to play a 4-hour gig, it really is at least 10 hours when you think about for sound check and all that kind of stuff and moving. The pay is just terrible. I'm too old. Every time I get home, and I need a hot tub because I'm broken. So the reason I left the Rockin' 45s was because Mikey's a fucking Nazi. But at this point, I can't see any other band saying, yeah, we need to hire a 66-plus-year-old guitarist because our guitarist left. So there's not going to be an established band that wants me. And putting a new band together with people, if it's a cover band, finding people that are aligned to the same kind of music at my age, and you really, that's not going to happen. And original music, forget about this. To find people that have a common goal and a common interest, and for what? Like, there's no place to play for an original project. So you'd have to put so much time into getting the music right for like one opportunity a year or something that doesn't really pay. I'm justifying it, but yes, with a tinge of, well, that part of my life is over, sadness. But the rest of it is like, who needs that fucking shit? Who needs to like continue to allow yourself to be raped and beat up?
How many people were in that band? Was it a 5-piece, 4-piece?
It was 3 musicians and a fat ham out front.
So let's be conservative, and let's say you're going to do a 4-hour gig, and let's be conservative, and let's say total time you put into it is like 7 hours of your day. So how much money would you get at the end of that gig?
$250. But here's the thing: there's taxes on. Like we used to be tax free, and about 5 years ago, all the venues started getting cracked down by whoever, federal government or something, and they started making us fill out tax forms. Now I was the only one with a business, so I did all the tax stuff, and at the end of the year I'd get whacked for the entire band's taxes. So let's say you get $1,000 a gig and I get $250 of that. I'm paying taxes on $1,000, and that wasn't working out. I was like, fuck this, man. I'm getting beat up here, and that part of it, yeah. But $250, and it's not 7 hours. To be fair, there's no gig that was less than 10 hours. If it's a 4-hour gig, you got to pack up while you're home, pack all your gear into your vehicle while you're home. You're not, who couldn't afford to pay a roadie at that rate. Pack it up, drive an hour, at least an hour, to every single place the gig was, unload it, pack it onto the stage, do a sound check like an hour before, and then when it's done, break it all down and all that, and move it. By the time you're done, at least 8 hours, probably 10 hours. For $250, that's $25 an hour. I might as well go work in a supermarket, being a stock boy or something like it.
Yeah, but don't you get like a free beer?
Yeah, one free beer.
Yeah, depends on
and depending on the beer, that beer could be like a $200 beer.
It depends on the venue. Not all of them will let. Some venues let you drink for free. Completely all night, and I'm not a big drinker, so I wouldn't take advantage of that. Some you get one free, and then the rest you pay for. But so you get a free draft beer on top of your $250. Well, that makes all the difference.
So a burger, right?
So all your gigs didn't end like in the Blues Brothers when they're in the country bar.
There have been some, not all of them, no, but there have been some. But here's the thing that is. The equalizer here, or whatever, the thing that turned everything around, about somewhere between 12 and 15 years ago, started doing a lot of solo and duo gigs, acoustic stuff. And when you do that, you get paid that same $250, but you get tips, and the tips sometimes are more than $250. So for a night, I would take home $600, $700,
doing the acoustic thing. I walk in with an acoustic guitar. I walk out with an acoustic guitar. No setup time, no sound checks, none of this bullshit. So it's really and they were 3-hour gigs. You're getting paid $600, not 4-hour gigs. So it's just like, well, I could work really 5 hours and get $700, or I could work 10 hours and get $250. What are you going to take?
A few years ago, I met this guy who started coming to one of the open mics, and he was a musician, a guitarist, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just here to get myself used to being in front of people and not freezing up and shit like that." So he did that for about a year, and now he's got a pretty successful solo acoustic thing going on, because he plays all around. He's making a good living. He's been able to quit his job doing that. And so now he's doing that, and I think he started a band now as well.
The thing is now here on Long Island, anyway, a lot of the venues that used to hire me as either solo or duo work, they're now getting bands, and they have not upped the money. So these bands are playing in these small restaurants, and if for a duo we'd get $500, they're paying the band $500, and it could be a 6-piece band. It's like, man, these people are desperate for, and you don't see Mikey doing that anymore because he really can't do a duo because the guitar player that took my place can't play rhythm at all. He's just not he's a pure shredder. So he's got nobody to do the duo things. But all these restaurants are now, they segued from doing acoustic duos to full bands, and the bands aren't getting more money.
Can't Mikey do the duo with the drummer? I mean, doesn't he have the drummer? It's not this, or the bass player. Aren't there other people in the band that could do it with him? Does it have to be the guitarist
to do a
duo? Yeah.
So
does it have to be the guitarist?
Just singing and drums?
Yeah. I mean, does it have to be the guitarist?
It has to be somebody who can play like chords, accompaniment. Yeah, you have to.
I mean, you could do like a cappella, kind of like a do 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 do.
Well, he has done some things with Kiera where they do karaoke. Two singers go, and calling him a singer is really a stretch. But 2 vocalists go in with karaoke backing tracks, and that is, I hate that.
Yeah, that's a non-starter.
Well, I think like in this area, I think what really, I mean, there's always been solo acoustic guys here and there, but it seems like ever since the pandemic happened, then it really made that full swing to like solo acoustic, because there's so many bars now that just do solo acoustic people.
Yeah.
And I get it, because it's probably a little cheaper. You don't have a fucking band to worry about, and it's just a guy and his guitar and an amp.
Yeah, it's so much easier from the musician's perspective. The audience doesn't seem to give a shit that, there's no drummer here or whatever. If you can get them up dancing to an acoustic guitar, or just a piano, whatever, you get them up dancing, then they don't fucking give a shit. And they'll tip you. For some reason, there's this mentality: full band, I'm not going to tip them, even though there's a tip jar out there. But if it's just a guy with a tip jar, it gets full.
At Laughing Stock, where they hold the shows, in the next bar next to it in the hotel, they normally have a live band that plays on Saturday nights, and they're like doing more country than anything.
Yeah.
Well, it's so odd because that place does country line dancing, and you know what? I hate the fucking music, but I got to tell you, the women that come out for that,
yeah.
Yeah.
You just like boots. You just like boots.
Cowboy hats. Girls
like boots and jeans.
Girls in cowboy hats. I don't know if I'm broke back, but
no, it's because the women they're the right amount of thickness.
Mm-hmm. Daisy's Nashville Lounge. Now there's 2 of them here on Long Island. They I don't know where they have like a recruitment thing, but they get all these waitresses and girls who go out on the street, barkers or whatever they call them, and the people who are welcoming, at whatever they call that,
just the hottest young girls on Long Island. I mean, all like 22 to 20 college age girls, like, or just out of college, and just like in shorts, cowboy hats, and boots, and they're just all like prime ripeness of womanness. It's devastating. How do you say no to that? You're walking down the street and some young girl comes up and says, "Hey, you want to come in for a free drink?" Yeah, sure. Why not? I don't even drink. I'm going to come in for a free drink.
And I think that the bars also like it too, because you don't have to scream to talk to somebody. Someone can just play the fucking guitar. You can hear the music, but then also you can also talk.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with some of these bands now that are in, because a lot of these venues that I used to play in, or I played in with Mikey sometimes as a duo, they're putting in bands, and the drummers don't understand. It's dinner hour. People they're not ready for, like, don't rock out, don't hit that snare drum like real hard. You got to have a very soft touch to it, and they don't understand that. I've seen a lot of them who just way too loud for restaurant music, but whatever, sooner or later that will get old. I don't know. So there's a video out, switching gears a little bit here, that I said save to watch later. Making peace with the fact that his career is over. Bill Burr.
It's not over yet. It's just almost over. Are we talking about me or someone else?
Bill Burr.
Oh, okay.
On the Saudi thing. I don't know. And over is probably an exaggeration, but I don't see he's not doing any performance. Like, if the Saudi Arabian, I'm sure it was a very big check for him, right? But it's not enough to make up for losing 20 gigs or 20 of those kind of gigs domestically, right?
No,
bad business choice.
Yeah, I don't know why a lot of those guys did that. They just fucking screwed themselves and sank their own careers. Well, not sank, but they definitely hurt their careers.
Well, there was a guy 2 days ago on Facebook, a big fat guy I've never heard of. He was getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Fluffy?
Yeah.
Fluffy?
Yeah.
You know Fluffy? I never heard of Fluffy. Yeah. But he was talking.
Gabriel Iglesias or something like that? Is that
Gabriel Iglesias.
Okay.
Yeah, he said basically the Saudi gig bought him a new house. So fuck all those people who are fluffy haters or whatever. And I'm like, this guy's getting a walk on the Hall of Fame. That must be a really long sidewalk, because.
Well, yeah, and people pay for those. It's not like an Oscar where it's like you can't buy an Oscar, but you could get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame if you got the sponsorship and the money.
Yeah, it's like $10,000.
Don't they run out of?
No, it was 50,000 last. Yeah, it was up to 50,000. That was a few years ago.
It's even with that. So say I bought one. Don't they run out of real estate sooner or later? Hollywood's been around. That part of Hollywood is for 120 years now. Aren't they going to run out of sidewalks sooner or later, or do they have to? Nobody ever heard of this guy, Buster Keaton. Who needs it? Get rid of that one and put Fluffy in.
Maybe they've expanded what the Hollywood Walk of Fame is. I don't know if it's a square, sure, they're going to run out of space. But if it's a linear thing, it could go for the length of the city.
Or if it turns up in Boise, Idaho. Yeah, this is a Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Hollywood, Maryland. There's a Hollywood, Maryland. There's a Hollywood. There's a few of few towns called Hollywood in this country.
But Fluffy is a very popular comedian.
Really?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah, he sold out Dodger Stadium last year or a year and a half ago.
And
maybe look under Gabriel Iglesias, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely the guy.
Just look up Fluffy.
Yeah, Gabriel Iglesias. That's who it is. Yeah, big fat fuck. But still, I mean, does Dave Chappelle have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Probably not. Bill Maher.
Again, it's a matter of sponsorship and the right people getting behind you. It's some of it's politics.
A lot of people could fit behind him, definitely.
Yeah, and it's not like it's. I'm not saying that you don't have to have some talent, because otherwise people wouldn't care that you had a Hollywood Walk of, had a star.
Right.
I mean, but
Here he is, KTLA, Gabriel Iglesias honored on Hollywood Walk of Fame. And you get a plaque to take home. But, yeah, I don't know. But so it's nice that you can buy it. I guess nice that you can buy it. But I would think fame, because you guys know of him, and I'm surprised that GD knows of him because he doesn't really.
But I've known about him for like 20 years.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's been about 20 years.
I don't know how I just totally.
I learned about him because now I could be wrong. I think it's like 20 years that I've known about him. I think I learned about him about the same time I learned about Ralphie May. The guy that goes, nay, nay. I can't remember his name now.
John Panette.
Panette. I used to love Panette. Now, Panette was my favorite of the Fat comics.
So
but I think I learned about all the. It seemed to me like there was a bunch of overweight comics, male comics at the same time.
Yeah, Louis Anderson, John Panette. What's the other? Kevin Meaney.
Yeah.
Right. 2,838 stars on the live theater, live performance category in the star-studded Hollywood Walk of Fame. That's a lot of fucking. And I think if memory serves me correctly, that they were all like full like blocks, some areas.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the size of them.
Pretty big, I think.
I mean, because I guess because they have like, would you put your handprint, your footprint? Is that the same as when they put the star there? Or is that separate?
Yeah, that's the same thing. And to me, I think it started in front of the Chinese theater.
Grauman's.
Yeah, Grauman's Chinese theater.
Yeah.
So, but that's a lot. That's got to be a mile, right? At least a mile. If the blocks, and listen, I'm just going by memory. If the blocks are, let's say, 2.5 feet by 2.5 feet, and I think that's being conservative, then 3,000 of them would be more than a mile.
Yeah, right? I can't remember. I can't remember the movie I saw there. I saw a movie at the Grauman Theater, and I honestly I don't remember what it was.
Wow, they changed the name of the theater.
And the weirdest thing is, like, when we were there, and we bought tickets. We had tickets. We're waiting for this. Did we buy tickets? Did we get them comped? I can't remember. I can't remember. No, I think they comped. I think because my friend used to work out there, and I think he got the tickets because he didn't get paid to work on the movie, but he got comped tickets to see something. I can't remember what it was we saw. Man, but the whole time we were out there, we were in line for like 2 hours or so, and the whole time we were there were barkers coming from different shows, like I'm trying to think, like Letterman, maybe. No, Letterman was New York, so it was something. It could have been Leno. I can't remember who had talk shows in the 90s, but they kept coming up to us, offering us tickets. And I looked at my buddy and I said, "Oh wow, we go." He goes, "Man, they give us tickets away all the fucking time. They're not special." Now, here's the thing: when you live out there, and you're being bombarded with those tickets all the time, maybe it's not special, But when you're out there for a week and you're from Maryland and you don't know when the next time you're going to get back out to Hollywood, it's kind of a big deal that you get to see whoever it was. I don't know if it was Leno or I have no idea.
Yeah. Apparently, I've spread some misinformation here. I'm fact checking myself. The thing in front of the theater, the hand and footprint ceremony, is not the same as the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The ceremony comes almost a year after Iglesias was immortalized down the street at the hand and footprint ceremony in front of the TLC Chinese Theater, or TCL. What is TCL? TCL Chinese Theater. Is that like what corporation could that be?
The China Lounge.
The China Lounge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're not the same thing. So he's got both. Wow.
I don't know.
And I never heard of him. I mean, the name Gabriel Iglesias, I would think, Julio? Is he related to Julio? Or what's Enrique? Fluffy, I never heard of until I saw him, like, he was going off about the haters on his Saudi thing because Saudi Arabia bought him a new house. So fuck the haters. I don't think that's the whole point of it. Nobody said, "Gee, you did it for too cheap." Nobody. No. The problem is they were beheading people. That's the issue people had, not how many. How much money did you make? Is there a price on beheadings?
Yes. Tell us the price. Ann in California. Good day, Ann in California. Hello.
Hello, Ann. 11377. Where is that? It can't be close by. This is zip code 11377.
That sounds like Massachusetts. I have no idea.
I can't be.
Because 9-something is California.
Oh, it's Woodside. Next stop is Woodside. Not bad. Sure, why not? What's the date? I'll do it. What? Oh, yeah, sure. Why not? Right? I'll do it. All right. Carry on.
Run. Son.
So, by the way, Jackie, the Joke Man Martling, at McGuire's tonight in Bohemia, New York. You guys going to that? You're going to see Jackie in Bohemia, New York?
I can't. What about you, Ron? I'm busy. What about you, Ron?
No, I'm going to the movies tonight with a friend.
That Bohemia. You know what Bohemia is famous for?
Beer. Oh, Rhapsodies. They're famous for their Rhapsodies.
You're breaking my heart.
Bare feet.
You're breaking my heart. It is the hometown of the one and only John Fugelsang. That's what it is. That's what Bohemia is famous for.
Everyone knows John Fugelsang.
Everyone does. He's star of stage, screen, radio.
He was with I can't remember the comedy tour that was
definitely a lot of us are busy with all the wars that we're currently winning. So.
All the wars. Jeez, the war is expanding, right? There's
all I know is I should have bought gas I should have bought gas on my way home. On my way home from the open mic, I should have stopped to get gas, but I looked at my gas tank and I said, okay, I got half a tank, and I gotta still have an electric motor. I'll get gas next week. And next week is like 40 cents a gallon more. What the fuck?
Capitalism's a bitch, isn't it?
Yeah, I should have bought gas last week. And it's funny. There's not many times when I actually second guess myself, like, okay, get angry. But spending 40 cents a gallon more for gas, it's kind of, I'll get angry over that.
On the way, so it was 40 cents cheaper on the way home on the way to the gig?
No, what I'm saying is last week on my way back home, I should have stopped to get gas. And it was 40 cents cheaper then.
I heard on the way, and I was thinking, well, I'm on my way to the gig. I'm past the sign. It says $2.63 a gallon. On the way home, it's $3.03 a gallon. Oh.
But it could happen it could happen that fast. It doesn't take them long to change those prices, especially with the digital signs. Back in the old days, when they had to do it by hand, they had the little stick and stuff. It could take a while. I'll change it tomorrow. It's cold and windy. I'm not going to do it tonight.
Did either of you sit in gas lines?
In the 70s, I did.
I did, definitely.
Yeah.
Not just in the 70s. When Sandy hit in New York, we went a good month where you'd have to find out, there's a gas station within 20 miles that has gas.
Gas, yeah.
And then
you have to calculate, is it worth me driving that far?
And taking the day off and waiting 4 hours in line. It was literally 4 or 5 hours, some of the lines. But the 70s, it was more like an hour, or something. But it wasn't never 5 hours.
And also in the 70s, we were assigned days. There were even days, odd days, and then Sunday was open for anybody that,
Right.
If there was gas left on Sunday, you could get it.
And Becky posted something on Twitter the other day about gas prices. And about prices in the 70s. And Becky wasn't alive in the 70s. I was, and I remember these things. Like, Big Macs were not 35 cents a Big Mac and all this stuff. But most of the stuff she had was actually cheaper than it was. But gas she had at like $1.15 a gallon. No, after the gas crisis, it went up over $1 an hour. But right before that, it was like 27 cents a gallon.
It was pretty cheap. I don't know about 20. I mean, 27. Because last time I remember being in the 20s was when I was not even a teenager. Because we used to get like a quarter, fill up the lawnmower, and cut grass for like $2 a lawn or $3 a lawn, and that's how we made our money.
Probably exaggerating. You're right.
I'm thinking it was probably 70 to 80 something cents a gallon in the 70s.
So when I was driving in the early 90s, when I first started driving and things, gas, it was like 85 cents a gallon.
Wow.
And because I remember that, because I would like drive down to this gas station. It was like 2 miles from our house. And, you know, I didn't have a lot of money. I was a kid. So I'd take my $5. It's like, and that $5, you know, that got you a good amount of gas. Especially I was driving this 77 Buick Skylark.
they got 4 gallons to the mile.
No, it got pretty decent because that actually had the 6-cylinder in it. And
okay. Back then I was driving a Delta 88 or Delta 68. I think it was I think it was maybe a Delta. I think it was a 68 Delta 88 or 88 Delta 68. I can't, but it got terrible gas mileage. And even if you it was one of those engines that if you took your foot off the gas to idle, it would still move the car uphill a little. It could still drive the car while idling. And I guess that was just a flaw. It's something wrong with the gas tank, you know, because you take it off, you put it in neutral. You shouldn't. Well, it wasn't in neutral, but it was still being dry. But if you took your foot off the gas, it would still be moving.
That is how like some of those older, like really heavy, like big V8 cars are.
Yes,
you put the brakes on, and it's like let's go.
Yeah, it was a V8, and it was all metal.
1974, the average price of regular in the United States was 30 cents a gallon in 1974. When was the gas like 75, 76?
I think it was later than that because Carter was president, right? Yeah, and Carter lost to the Reagan in 80. So what, 77, 78?
Well, it was definitely
80 would have been the start of Reagan's presidency.
Yeah.
Yeah. In 1975, it approximately 57 cents a gallon. 1976, so it went up 20 cents in 1 year, which is a lot. 26 cents in a year. 1976, I think, was the gas crisis, right? Was the gas shortage prices. When was the fucking? I think it was 76. Oh, 70. That's why I put in 75 again. I think it was 76 that OPEC decided to cut us off. It went from 57 cents and 75 to $2.25 in January of 1976. Wow. That I think that's an exaggeration. That wasn't the average, right?
I must be conflating things because I thought I was out of high school when it happened. I thought, and I graduated in 77.
You were just cutting out that day. You know what? That's wrong too. That's with inflation adjusted for today's prices, $2.25 a gallon. Yeah, so that's wrong. I don't know. When did the gas crisis? Gas was regular 1976. You might have been it was 61 cents a gallon in 76. How about if I go to 77? I could just Google when did the gas crisis start in the United States, right? I could just do that.
You could, yeah.
If I was smart, but I'm not smart. I'm not a smart man. Right?
Okay, there was a 73 oil crisis and a 79 oil crisis, and the 79 oil crisis is the one I'm thinking about because that's the one I would have actually been driving in.
Really, the two oil.
It says here, according to this is Google. I'm Googling it here. 1973 oil crisis. The first major gas shortage occurred in October 73, triggered by the Yom Kippur War in response to the U.S. support for Israel.
But that wasn't as big as the second one.
Right, the 79 oil crisis. The second crisis began in 79, following the Iranian Revolution, which disrupted oil production and exports from Iran. This led to another spike in oil prices and further shortages to gas.
And that brings us to today's subject, ladies and gentlemen.
Which is
the gas. They're cutting off
Kristi Noem being promoted, right?
Oh well, we can talk about that too. But the Strait of Hormuz is where all the oil comes through. Apparently, we haven't cleared that out. Iran is still Iran is still controlling that, and they're not letting. So expect prices to go up pretty quick. Yeah. We're going to have another one of these gas shortages.
Yeah, well, it's going to get really bad before it gets better.
Yeah, lots of experts. There's experts everywhere, right? Coming out and saying that we're not in control of the escalation of this thing, and no matter what we think of Iranian military capability, they are controlling the escalation of this. So it basically, this is going to last far longer than anybody.
Oh, it's going to be, the whole fucking region is on fire. And when you come out there and say, well, we're going to let you decide your government and shit, and we're not going to help you. That's the same shit we did to Afghanistan.
Right.
And that's how we got Osama bin Laden.
But here's a wrinkle that very few people that I know saw coming. J.D. Vance had to call Zelensky in Ukraine and say, we need your help. Well, it's got to be a little humiliating. Did he say thank you? But because they need help, because Russia and China depend on the Straits of Hormuz to get their oil from Iran. They're not happy right now. So we are, and we're widening it. Israel is widening it. We're not, but we are doing their bidding.
It's us and Israel. It's us and Israel. They wouldn't be doing it if we didn't okay it, but they wouldn't be doing it.
Right.
Not on this scale.
Do you give any credence to the idea that Israel is the one Netanyahu is the one calling the shots and telling Trump what to do?
I think it's Netanyahu and Mohammed bin Salman. I think it's the two of them calling the shots.
The Saudi Arabian?
Yeah.
Well, the reason, I know you're not plugged into the conspiracy theories shit, and I wish I wasn't, but they're all talking about Netanyahu has videotapes of Trump fucking little girls from Mossad, because through Epstein was connected to Mossad. Mossad, obviously,
you can clearly see this is about is guys trying to prove they have a bigger dick. It's so pathetic.
And stay in power. And stay in
power and money. But it's just pathetic that they're like, oh, yeah, Pete Hegseth is the perfect example of that.
Does he jerk off to fucking bombing videos all day?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well,
but it's just this weird, like, fake tough guyness. I mean, you see it in RFK with his fucking jeans in a gym, which is insane.
Yeah. There was a guy... Crystal Ball had on Crystal Ball and Zager, whatever that guy's name is. So left wing, right wing podcast, whatever the fuck they do. They had a guy on who has predicted like lots of. I mean, none of his predictions are wrong to date. At least the ones they mentioned. I'm sure he probably got the lottery numbers wrong several times, but he's saying that the United States is going to lose this war and lose it big time, and they're not prepared for this.
They don't have to define what losing is, because Trump hasn't defined what winning is yet.
Well, what
you've already lost.
He did define what he meant by it, and he's like, there's going to be major. And Trump was asked about this, and he said, "Yeah, it could happen. It's war. Things happen." That there will be major damage within the United States, right on our soil, not necessarily by missile attack, but by sleeper cells and dirty bombs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Expecting that. And he's like, once that happens, the American people just are going to be like hair on fire, crazy about what do we, we're under attack now domestically. And what do we do about it? And
I think most people are concerned about that because we could easily beat Iran down. Easily. But it doesn't matter because we could wipe them out. Iran will just get us back with fucking little attacks here and there. And those are the type of attacks that hurt because they'll either kill a bunch of soldiers or it'll be a bunch of civilians.
Well, dude, why don't you just join the chat room? It's the way you're texting me. A comedian friend just texted me. Our world is a mess. Stop talking about this shit. Like, dude, join the chat room. What you got to text me? Share it with maybe he doesn't want to associate with our chat room. He doesn't, or whatever. Anyway, Mullen replacing Nome. If you would have said to me, Trump's going to replace Kristi Noem with somebody even worse, I would have probably said, you mean Mullen? And I would have been right. I mean, this guy people are talking that he's got no college degree. He couldn't get a GED in Oklahoma, which traditionally ranks between 49 and 51 if you include DC in education. They're always at the bottom of education. He couldn't get a GED in that state. So he's as stupid as they come. I've heard him twice say America is the greatest country in the nation. And
remember, you just got to look at it this way. Remember, Noam was the top pick. That was the best in class. Right. Now you have exactly. Like everyone behind all these.
I think you mean best in show, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, he means best of the shitty fucking crop to pick from. Yeah. But I totally, she's been a total fucking mess. Like maybe the worst secretary ever in a presidential cabinet. And listen, she's got a lot of competition in the current presidential cabinet, but she might be among the worst. But I gotta say that I think Mullen will be worse, and I base that on. Remember when O'Brien, the head of the Teamsters Union, was testifying in front of the Senate, and fucking Mullen challenged him to a fist fight on the floor of the Senate. You know who had to break that up?
Wasn't that Bernie Sanders?
Yes. Can you imagine if you and I are going to fight, and Bernie Sanders is the guy who holds you back? What does that say about you?
Did he?
You've been restrained by Bernie Sanders.
And like point us like you.
The guy who got carried away crying by the cop. You remember that picture where your Vietnam protest or whatever it was, and he like, ah! And they had him by the arms and his legs weren't touching the ground. That's the guy who restrained him. I mean,
well, he had seniority. Seniority matters.
I think it's just he really didn't want to fight.
Oh no, that is the truth, because that happens in the playground. You get two kids in the playground and one kid
hold me back, hold me back.
Yeah. And they said, or they say, don't hold me back. I'm like, okay. It's like, what you let go for?
Right. So this is a guy who is used to bluffing. I think that was a bluff.
But didn't he used to wrestle MMA?
Yeah,
he did have some.
Yeah, he was in the MMA, but then too,
I'm not saying he was any good, but he was like.
Yeah, he's just like one of these wannabe really tough guys, and he was hiding on January 6th.
Yeah.
From now, listen. To be fair,
from his own people.
If I'm going to be really fair here. If I was told there is an angry, violent mob there, I'd probably be ducking too.
That is fair.
But since then, they were peaceful protesters. So you were hiding under furniture from peaceful protesters? Yeah. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
See, now I would not have, I'm going to tell you now, because if you're in Congress and you're next to, I'm trying to think. There was one woman there who picked up a stick and was ready to fight. I'm not going to let her do my battle for me, so I'm going to jump up too. Even if I'm terrified, I'm not going to have Liz Cheney saying, "Oh no, we're going down." We're fighting. I said, "Okay, well, if Liz Cheney can fight, I'm a fight." You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I wasn't Liz Cheney. It was someone else. It was a little black lady. I think it's like, "Hunt, child, hold my earrings. There's not coming in here and fucking with me." So. I would have had to get up there. And there were people in Congress who actually did try to physically go out and fight, and they were restrained by security, saying, "No, we got this. You go back."
Yeah, I just think Mullen is going to he's going to make you think, well, Kristi Noem really wasn't all that bad when in comparison. I think he's going to be that bad. I do, because he's the kind of guy who doesn't think before he acts at all. He's just a loudmouth, dope from Oklahoma.
Well, so was Kristi Noem.
Yeah, but she wasn't. She wasn't.
I think the difference between the two would be, and I could be totally wrong because I'm just speculating here. With Kristi Noem, she was more on Notice Me. You know, she was like really into playing dress up. She was really into like playing the part, and so she wasn't doing a lot. She wasn't stopping things from happening. It was just like she had people underneath. Was not Bongino, the little tiny guy that liked to dress like a Nazi but said he wasn't a Nazi, the one that got fired from, I can't remember his name now, but he's gone. But I think he was making a lot of the decisions for her, especially in like on the ground. But she was
Corey
going to the
Lewandowski? Is that Corey Lewandowski? Is that who?
No, that's the boyfriend. I can't.
Anyway, yeah, I agree with you. She's probably just as on the scale of bad being like incompetent and just corrupt. I think they're probably equal. But I really think Mullen is like 1 IQ point above retarded. I'm sorry, but
yeah.
So I think she might be 10 IQ points ahead of him. That's what I'm saying.
So I think that he would be more inclined to also try to please Trump because she's been let go. Although she's been moved to another department, and that's only so she won't talk and write a book.
They made up a new position for her, right?
Because that's how mob bosses do. They don't want you to talk, but they can't pay you money, so they give you some position where you can still collect money and not talk.
Yeah, but do you feel it? The people around have to be noticing, like the Pam Bondis, the people who are probably going to be next in line. They have to be noticing that she gave up a governorship. Not that South Dakota is all that, but she gave up a governorship to take this job for 1 year, and now she's been like ambassador to lube and silly putty.
Jiffy Lube, I think.
Yeah, something like that. So, like the Pam Bondi's got to be saying, if that's loyalty, that's not. When they get rid of me, they decide that I have to go. Where am I going to go? He's going to create some bullshit job for me on there, and I don't know when people start to wake up that loyalty is a one-way street with him, because I don't know if that would buy my son's mom.
Well, I mean, you're already seeing the lack of experience throughout, and we're only like a year and a half in, maybe, if that, less than a year and a half in, and you're already seeing the lack of experience that's going to lead to all sorts of trouble. It's going to be fun this summer.
Somebody explain Sunshine's comment to me, because I don't get it. Bag ready?
A to-go bag. That's when you have to leave in a
hurry. I
use
little jars, not bags.
In other words, she's concerned for our safety. I think that maybe somebody be coming for us from the government, and we have to escape real quick. So we have to have a to-go bag, a go bag. Yeah.
I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm probably not going to survive anyway. So, what difference does it make? This should just cut. I mean, what are gonna? Nobody even notice if I'm dead, right? Would you notice? Yeah, pretty much the same conversation.
Well, I would notice. I would probably notice the next morning when I come on and like we can't stream to places because I don't have the password.
You have to push the buttons yourself.
Yeah, and then I forget to hit stream live, and I'm talking to nobody.
Yeah. I don't know. What is the cat thing about? I don't know. There's a cat in there, and the cat kennels ready. Cat kennels.
Well, I have cats. I don't know if you have you don't have cat. You have cat in the house, so you probably have to have two cats. Yeah. So you have to have like a kennel on standby, otherwise the cats would be left to defend the house.
I'm surprised they call kennels for cats. I thought kennels were just dogs. I don't know why I thought that, but
I was reading something yesterday. I've like some guy who's in charge of something with national security. He's like only 23 years old.
22 years old, just out of college. Listen, he graduated a magna cum in your face or whatever. But still, he
doesn't make him ready for that job.
For a security job, the only job he's ever had is in a bagel shop. What's a bagel?
It's ridiculous. Imagine Imagine if you're like an agent or something that's been there, you got like 15, 20 years experience, and this dickhead comes up to you and says, we should do this about security. And you're like, fuck you.
Well, Ron, you know, not most of the good guys, most of the people that, no, I say good guys, I mean the ones that are really experienced in their job are not there anymore.
Yeah, that is true too.
So there's not a lot of those 25-year veterans.
I'm sure there is still plenty of people in that department, though.
Yeah, but the ones that are left are probably right wingers, and everybody like, okay, well, this is what Trump wants. How Hitler, because what's the name? What's his face? Kash Patel just fired 11 more guys, and their specialty was detecting threats from Iran. You know, detecting sleeper cell threats from Iran.
Yeah,
fired 11 of them.
They don't have the kid's name here, but
because he's a minor.
He was also. I stand corrected. Not just a bagel store guy. He worked at a grocery store. He was a grocery store clerk and a gardener.
Well, I can see the connection with security and gardening, because you have to guard against the threat of weeds, and you have to anticipate where the weeds may grow and come in. Like, so you have to start checking cracks and nookies and crannies, nooks and crannies. That's it, nooks and crannies, looking for weeds.
But
so I can see that.
The question I have is, because, listen, I'm not going to anyway justify it, but you can understand. Thomas Fugatti is the kid's name. Maybe Fugatti Continental or something. Maybe that's how he got. But the question I was going to ask here is, you could kind of understand how Patel and Bongino got their job, because they were in the face of the public as podcasters, and they were kissing Trump's ass royally. And he said, these guys will be loyal to me. I'll appoint them. How does this 21-year-old kid who has no visibility, he was 21 when he got the job, he's 22 now, how does he get the job? I mean, somebody had to throw some money.
Talk to him, like maybe he's a member of the Federalist Society, or maybe he's somebody from one of the billionaire friends' children.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Bought, because Fugatti kind of sounds like he's probably part of the Continental, the limo company. There's a Fugatti limo. I mean, but other than buying his way into the job, I can't imagine how he possibly could have gone from graduating college to the head of cyber terrorism for Homeland Security. And this is talking about possible terrorist attacks or sleeper cells and all. This is the kid keeping us safe at night.
I should have applied for that job, because I aced my cybersecurity test on Windows servers back in 2000.
Well, you gotta look at it this way: if something goes wrong, he's an easy sacrifice.
Oh yeah.
Boy, oh boy, we're in trouble. That's all I could say. But
you're making make sense, guys. 2 minutes late.
I know he's probably sleeping, and that makes sense, doesn't it? Make sense that he would be sleeping. Probably.
Yeah, because there's a time difference between New York and New York,
Rockaway, and
Long Island.
Yeah. Well, in last thing he sent to me, can't wait. I was like, well,
apparently he can wait, because he's so far he's waited 2 minutes beyond.
Apparently, you can wait, because it's now. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Wow, I can't do this. Oh, I can't even type. Man.
So, Ron, are you a Yingling drinker, or you just got the shirt for free?
Sort of both. I do drink it from time to time, but
I know I used to drink it. I can't remember why. A friend of mine had recommended it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad beer, and the PA beer, so why not?
But we don't drink beer here. We drink wine from Wine Express. And we buy enough to last.
I can't drink wine. I have a heroin addiction. Leave me alone.
I guess the Reverend should start mentioning the wine thing when he does his bump for the Lord.
That would be good. Not that anybody patronizes our sponsors at all. Anyway,
I've had more people ask me about, or ask the Reverend about the Bump for the Lord than they have about my own comedy career.
Yeah. Do you ever try to make wine at home, a home wine kit? I think.
Not on purpose. Not on purpose.
I think
if you let it sit long enough, it starts to ferment. And
what do you mean it starts to ferment? Isn't wine already fermented? That's all.
No, I mean the grapes, the grape juice. I've had grape juice sitting in the refrigerator.
Oh, yeah, accidentally fermented and become wine. But I didn't know that wine could get worms, right? If you leave wine, if you don't put the cork back in the bottle and you just leave a bottle of wine open, it could get worms in it.
What?
Yeah, not like earthworms crawling into, but like whatever.
What kind of parasite? I could just see a parasite, but is it a parasite that just shapes like a worm, or is it an actual worm? Because there's like a different classification between parasites that look like worms and actual worms.
I have to admit ignorance on this subject, but I do know that there was a bottle of wine. One of these. It was like a 5-foot tall bottle of wine, and nobody ever put the cork back in it. And one night, this guy named Mad Dog came home and picked the bottle up, and he ended up puking. There were like fucking things crawling around. Things, actually visible things crawling around in the wine. Parasites in wine.
Yeah, I found parasites, but I checked out worms in wine, and I can't find anything other than alcohol is not an effective or safe method to kill worms in humans. So if you have worms, don't expect to kill them by drinking alcohol.
Wow. All right, so maybe that's what it was, but it was a crawling things and you got a mouthful of like pediculous bacteria, pedococcus bacteria.
Yeah, there's nothing in here about.
You don't want anything on your coccus that sounds like pedococcus. You don't want that.
There are alcohols that come with worms, but there doesn't say anything about worms like finding their way into wine or growing from wine or something like that.
How worms play a role in wine production is a video that pops up here. Discovering the world of wine parasites. No, thank you. Anyway, yeah, wine could go bad. So that's why you want to go to Wine Express, because they'll store it for you. That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, that means they keep it in inventory and ship it to you when you're ready.
That's nice. That's a good thing, right? Make sure it's here on time, though. I don't want to run out.
That's like that is the Penguin Random House business model. Like bookstores can't keep 1,000. Like what's that place? Barnes and Noble. They can't keep all the books on location that they need, or that they own, because the store's only so big. So they buy the books, and Penguin Random House stores them, and then we'll ship them to me. If they get orders, let's say we need 20 of this book or 20 of that book, or one of this book and one of that book, they will ship them out like right away. So it's like they're within a couple of days. So like you may have a book, Matt. You could have a book and it's available at Barnes and Noble, but they only keep, let's say, 2 copies on hand because they say, really, who's going to buy Matt's book?
Yeah, nobody wants to keep inventory on hand. It's expensive.
Right, and all of a sudden they need like 3 books, and so Barnes and Noble said on Random House, we need 2 of Matt's book, 1 of Ron's book, 1 of Glenn's book, and then 3 books of matches. And Random House packs them up and sends them out.
And if you're holding a bunch of inventory, you got to pay tax on
yes, at the end of the year. So that's the Random House business model right now. They make a lot of their money just holding shit for other people.
Yeah, that's a common practice now in businesses, for another business to hold your inventory until you need it, doing like consignments for like 6 to 12 months out.
Yeah, so the wine companies basically is doing on a smaller or a different scale than what other companies are doing. They're saying you can own 100 bottles of wine, but you're not going to have spaces for them. We'll hold it for you, and when you're ready for those other bottles, we'll ship them to you.
I think I just woke Big T up. He said, "Give me a minute." Yeah, we already gave you an hour and 15 minutes.
Maybe he was already awake. He was in the bathroom.
That could be.
And his legs fell asleep because he was like playing solitaire on his phone.
Listen, he don't owe me anything. I owe him big time.
I don't owe him. He owe me. I go home.
I go home.
I go home.
I'm already home. But I owe him. He don't owe me.
I go home.
So I don't know if you know this about Big T. It sounds like he's here now. I'm going to tell us while I introduce him.
He thinks he's doing an open. He thinks he's doing the stand-up routine. He's got a regular. He's ready to go. He's like, "Hey, hi there, your host this evening."
the first time Big T was on the program, he was doing a show, Cooking with Big T or something like that. He was making his own edibles at home, and I confessed to him that at that time, edibles weren't working for me. And he said, "Oh, you're going to get a care package." And he sent me a bunch of edibles. And that's the first time I ever got high on edibles. I had been buying them I didn't even discover Poos Pawtucket.
Very easy to make. My wife makes them. It's great.
The homemade ones generally don't work that much, but the ones Big T sent me were like fucking incredible.
Now, the homemade ones are strong.
So I became a edible guy because of Big T, if that makes any sense. And because I'm asking if that makes sense, the man who was the host of a incredible new series online, Make It Make Sense, Big T. Good morning, Tom. How are you, Big T?
What's up, guys? Sorry, life. Sometimes I have it on the calendar, but a dog, and it's probably I don't know if I don't know if you can tell if I was just crying and I didn't sleep all night. Like today is probably the day.
Oh,
but then you messaged me, Matt, and I'm a professional. And I wanted to talk to you. I was looking forward to this. I squirted some water in her mouth with an injector, and I just put it down on her bed, and we got to record. She would listen. She drives around with me when I'm doing my other job. Why wouldn't she want me to work? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I'm not bringing the energy down. I'm gonna bring the energy up. But if it looks like I was just crying, it's because I didn't have my coffee yet. But
when you cry if you don't have your coffee?
No, the dog's dying.
I'm sorry about that. I've gone through that.
Today's probably the day at 4:00.
Oh my God, brother!
And listen, I'm here to make jokes and laugh and make it make sense. But I'm just, I didn't sleep last night. We slept on the couch with her, like by her bed.
I feel your heart, brother. I went through this 2 weeks ago, and it was my stepdaughter's dog, but I bonded with this dog for 12 years. This was the best dog I ever had a relationship with, and I'm still in mourning over that dog. So I feel your pain, man.
Yeah,
it's rough.
It was.
I understand. My cousin just died, and we're really close. It's kind of like losing a dog.
All right, I'll be quiet over here, but not having coffee.
No. Please make as much noise as you want because gotta make it make sense.
But you got
where's your microphone? You're making your guests feel uncomfortable. Get a mic. Ron, grab a mic. You're making our guests feel uncomfortable.
I'm good.
You got that's an inside joke. You have to explain the joke to him because now he's left out of that joke. Here's a joke, Big T. When my son died, a fan of my band wrote to me and said, "I know how you feel. My cat died 18 years ago."
People do that. When I used to party and drink, my friend's dad lost his boat, 30,000, whatever it was. He works hard. He's a construction guy, and my friend's still up high on I think ecstasy or Molly at the time. We're going to get beer. We're still up. It's 9 a.m. He's getting rolls, and he's like, "Oh, I heard about your boat." He goes, "Someone stole my skateboard last week." It's like. Yo, my sister, a coach on the Rockets, molested 9 of his 13 kids. And she goes, "Wow, 13 kids?" It's like, what? Like, what? People don't understand. Like, no, it's not the 13, it's not the 4 ugly kids. It's the 9 that got molested, you know?
Unbelievable. So first of all, I want to say that, this Make It Make Sense a series that you started doing, fucking killer content, great stuff. Somebody should fucking sign you to like a network TV show, not a cable network, not like a broadcast network, but you should have your own show doing this stuff. It's very cool stuff. What made you decide to start doing that?
Well, I was on the ferry from Rockaway to Manhattan to ride my bike in June, baked out of my shorts, and I'm looking at the Statue of Liberty. I'm like, how did they build that? You're just looking as you're waiting to get off the ferry. So I started Googling it as we're approaching. Like, hey, how'd they build it? What tools? Just because I was high, and let me just go down this Google search. And I was like, hold on, what tools did
aliens and Egyptians?
Huh?
Aliens and Egyptians built it. I thought you knew that.
Well, it was a gift from Egypt at first that went to
France.
Brazil, but Brazil didn't want it, allegedly. And this is all stuff I'm learning. The rabbit hole I went down was like, I'm like, what tools did they use? Just Googling like facts. And I'm like, hold on, they didn't have power tools? Not that you need power tools or not need power tools, but then I was like, hold on. They did all this without power tools, and then as we're approaching the ferry stop, I see the Brooklyn Bridge, another rabbit hole. Then I'm like, oh, let me do the Empire State Building. Then like 400 days, like, and then the more you dig, the more, I don't know, things don't add up. You know, they lied today. They had to start somewhere, right? You know, like if it was a girl, you wouldn't trust her.
And now, if I remember correctly, the Statue of Liberty was a gift from France, and the model for it was actually a black woman, but they flattened the ass to make it more like a white woman once they got it here, you know, because of slavery and stuff like that.
Well, flattened ass. I got a flat ass on the side.
That's the thing. They said it's for slavery. They like to pull on the heartstrings. You know, like a woman finished the Brooklyn Bridge. Only one other woman built a bridge since. Like, what happened to women's rights since 1885? They let her finish a bridge that's still standing. It looks beautiful, structurally sound. Why aren't more women building bridges?
Well, they are. It's just that once it gets to the finishing part, some guy comes and goes, "We got it from here," and he signs it. Once they sign the inspection sheet, he goes, "Okay, honey, we got it from here," and that's to say another bridge built by Big T because you signed the inspection form.
Well,
inspected by Big T.
That's another thing. They said that the Statue of Liberty it's probably a man, and it's probably Lucifer.
Ooh.
And the more I dig, like I'm in New Jersey and I'm in City Hall at Newark, and they're like, there's like the devil mask, like the pagan with the horns in City Hall. Then I'm like the New Jersey Devils, and like this East where the Statue of Liberty is technically in New Jersey. Why are they called the New Jersey Devils? That's the Statue of Liberty. It's been in our face the whole time. You know what I mean? Like a lot of things.
I thought they were still disputing that. I thought that was like because my understanding is that it technically was in Jersey, but there was like some kind of dispute is about the little
Ellis Island, like who owns it? Like I think to this day there's no like real deed on that. New York State or New Jersey owns Ellis Island. I could be wrong. I think maybe New Jersey does own it. But it turns out GD wasn't just joking about that. I Googled this Statue of Liberty's ass. It was a sexy French black woman who was the model for it, and they decided to shave down her bubble butt ass to make it more American.
More European, yeah.
That's the thing also. Like I went to the one of my earlier buildings I went to looking for gargoyles was the Woolworth building. And I'm like looking at him. I don't see gargoyles, but I see some people. I'm filming. I'm like, who is that? Biggie? Guy looked like Biggie. Then I'm like, who's that? The Statue of Liberty? And looked like just like, well, you know, black people and Indian people, but they're saying that's who built the building. And then like that video took off. Every black person that followed me came out of the woodworks like saying that's the truth. That's what's saying who we were here first. This building's telling this. And in Newark on the New Jersey Bell building, the people on the building, oh, that's the people that work there. They clearly have cornrows. They're not putting black people on a building in 1930. Not with a chisel, maybe in some other facet in a bad way, right? Am I wrong? Like, did I get history wrong again here? You know what I mean? Like, and people are like, oh, no. Sorry.
Yeah, typically instead of a black person, they would have, if a white person was behind it, they would have been like monkeys. No,
that's what I mean. Like, they'd probably, unfortunately, there's rope involved instead of a chisel. You know what I mean? In the 1930s, they're not an homage to black people. Like, but they have to make this explanation because this old building, whenever it's built, clearly has black people, Native, and then I had a guy on. He blew my mind. Remember last year on the internet? Oh, gingers are black people. He was telling me Irish people were in America with the Moors, who were like the elite. They're like so advanced, rich, like such a rich civilization. And Irish people, when they get sunburned, their black skin comes out, the freckles. You know what I mean? The red hair blew my mind. And then, listen, I never would use, oh, black people were slaves too. Like, you know, some stupid Irish guy. I would never say anything of that sort. I never disrespect anyone like that. But you always heard Irish people need not apply. Black Irish.
Yeah, I think there's
right in our face.
I'm not sure that DNA wise that blacks and Irish can be considered the same. Well, first, race is a political construct as far as I'm concerned. But I think when they say Irish, it's like a friend of mine has a bit called "Old is the New Black," and during the jokes, he's telling all these things that are happening to old people that used to happen to black people. You know, the racism, only it's against, ageism instead of racism and stuff like that. So maybe the Irish, because when they got here, they were totally disrespected. They couldn't get hired for jobs. They were called dogs and stuff like that. And so maybe in that regard, they're black. But you know how the internet is. You get something and it just takes off, and next thing you know, it's almost considered alternative facts.
Yeah. On the note of when things take off on the internet, so I see that like about a month ago, I'm watching Make It Make Sense video, and I think you were in Philly, maybe even someplace further away, and you're doing a bit, and you're talking about the building and the gargoyles and stuff, and I hear a guy in the background say, "You the guy who says make it make sense?" You're getting recognized in faraway places now. So that's a cool thing. It's got to be unexpected a little bit, but very cool thing. People are it's resonating with people. So,
but does it get you booked? Has it gotten you booked gigs? That's my question, because notoriety is one thing on the internet, but if they don't realize that you're an actual stand-up comedian, and that
you never say that, do you? You never say, "I'll book me for a gig" or any of that.
Listen, I don't tell people subscribe. I don't do any of that. You know what I mean? Like, we got so many people doing that already.
Right.
If you like me, listen. This all came from I do roast battles. You know what I mean? And I had a gauntlet of, you know what I mean? Depends on what side you are on the side of funny. Some amazing roast battles, but it will cripple you algorithm wise, And I was done bitching about the algorithm and the numbers. I said, "No, what?" I told my girl, they're gonna find me eventually. I know I'm funny. I've been getting hit since I was a kid. I know I'm funny. They're gonna find me eventually. I'm gonna do what I love. I started doing the green screen history, massaging the dog. Teacup Pomeranian had the glasses, and I was fighting the gout. Who's trying to be successful with those 3 bullets as coming into the fight? You're fighting the gout, some history green screen, calling out the government, and massaging the Teacup Pomeranian, and it took off. Yeah. And now I posted a video from my cooking show, something about the dog and rubbing butter on my nipples, and a lady commented like, "Hey, you have all these new subscribers. I don't think they would like that, like church and state." And that was my subconscious. Like, I try to keep it separate for now, but they know I talk about it. I said, I'm a stand-up comedian, I have a show, and they sort of accepted it, but they're not finding my other content, which is, I'm from Brooklyn and live in Queens my whole life. It's that kind of content. You know what I mean? I'm not selling out. I may curse a little less because I want the videos to get views. Not that I curse on stage. You want people to watch. If they're looking forward to it, you want the algorithm to show them. You don't want to say something or include something that's going to suppress it. And the first time in my life, I'm trying to paint inside the lines,
So you're saying that since you didn't sell out, that you would not have taken the Saudi Arabia gig if it was offered to you?
Oh, hold on. Are we going to rewatch what happened on 9/11 and be like, "Oh, that makes sense"? Listen. If we went and got all the supplies for the building, right, and stacked it neatly, perfect Tetris, perfect score, it would go how far up into the ground, let alone a demolition into a pit. And it was like just a pile of rubble. It wasn't stacked. Like, even perfectly stacked, it would be higher than what that rubble looked like. I don't know. I'm not going down 9/11. It just, that pisses me off. A lot of friends in Rockaway are firemen.
It's really there is no doubt that we don't know the truth about 9/11. We can talk, conspiracy theories and people who just claim they know what they're talking about. That's all bullshit. But there is no doubt. I think we can all agree that the government has not come clean on.
I can't even figure out what's going on with 7-Eleven and what's in their hot dogs and their taquitos. So 9/11, that's way beyond my pay grade.
Yeah, but this is a perfect segue again, because the other day I was watching, you were at the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, and then you said, "Yo, let's go down there." And my first thought is, he's going to get some kind of fucking security, because you're not allowed to film railroads. You're not allowed to film at airports. People are really nervous about this. Do you get any of that kind of, you can't film here, you don't go down there? What, any of that pushback? Anybody like getting?
He's a white guy, Matt. Damn it.
The only place was, and it was their rule, was the Freemason Lodge in Philadelphia, which is all time wild. Like, and they let me take a lot of pictures, and the pictures, listen, again, like I said, painted inside the lines. First time in my life, people complimented me on the pictures I took. What world are we living in? That, you know what I mean? That I'm in love, crying over a teacup Pomeranian, and people are like, hey, nice pictures, big guy. Like, I'm not that kind of guy. You know what I mean? Like, and people are complimenting me, hey, great video shot, great pictures. I'm like, you're a gumshoe. You're, and it's so overwhelmingly in an awesome way. But no one's really said anything to me that is let me go. I don't know. I just be nice. I'm just nice to people. Like, hey, how you doing? And I guess that's it. Yeah. I don't know.
Wow, that because I would think like, wow, that's a little question. Let's just go down there. Like I would be thinking there's somebody gonna be like, hey, wait, you can't go in there. Who are you? You gotta lie. Because 20 years ago, I was on the internet doing like historical stuff, and I had cops stopping me. You can't film here. Like there used to be a hospital here. I'm just doing a bit on what the series was called. It's Not There, and it was about around the town. Certain things, how the town has changed. They used to be here, and the history of the property and all that stuff. And I had cops coming up to me. You can't. Where's your permit? And all of a sudden, I'm like getting harassed by cops. You're going in places that would seem. I'm not trying to cause shit for you. I'm glad that you're not getting any shit, but it would seem like there would be somebody there saying, hey, you can't do that. And you just seem to, I don't know, maybe because you're so big there, you're intimidating.
I don't know. Like a lot of the places, I think they want promotion to make money. Like a lot of these churches charge you to get in and then charge $8 for a chocolate toffee bar that was so delicious, but I was so hungry because I'm walking around filming.
You know, like wrong. What they should do is let you in for free, and you have to pay to get out once the minister starts talking.
Yeah. Are you a Met fan?
Who, me?
Yes.
Yeah,
you are. I think if you probably, if you had any chance at all, I give the Mets a lot of shit, but I was a fan from 1962 to 2008. I stopped watching them in 2008 when they choked to Philadelphia for 2 years in a row, and then just was giving my Met fan friends some shit on this stuff. But one guy who owned a bar that I was performing at, he was following me, and he got really angry about me giving the Mets shit, and he basically was threatening me. And I said, well, I'm playing down the street. And he came to fucking stab me because I was making fun of the Mets. I was like, you got to understand. I still root for the team. I just give them shit. And as a New Yorker, I think you can relate to this fact that when you say negative shit about the team, that's kind of an anti-jinx. It's a reverse jinx. I'm saying they're going to lose today. That means they're going to win because I'm such a fucking jinx. Because then if I root for them and said they were going to win, they were going to lose. But he didn't get any of that stuff. But I did a thing at Citi Field. Paint party for Mets ticket owners, season ticket owners last week, and I thought about calling you up. Have you thought about doing any of that kind of like? Because that building has got some really interesting things on it. I don't know if you've looked at Citi Field, but it's got some, not the lions and stuff or gargoyles, nothing demonic, but just some interesting artifacts around. Like, what is this all about?
Well, you got the World's Fair right there, and I did it, and for whatever reason, TikTok took it down. I went back. There's no curses, no nothing. It was weird, but I was harping about how Americans, people like that, we built that 1961. I'm like, I'm talking about all the World's Fairs, the glass and crystal house that burnt down. It's glass and crystal. How is it another great fire? You know what I mean? Oh, groundbreaking technology. You know, before the World's Fair, people were walking around. They had an ice cream scoop in one hand and a hot dog wiener in the other. Then the World's Fair came. Oh, hot dog bun, ice cream cone. We had waffles. Now they're Belgian waffles. This is the groundbreaking technology where if you think differently, you're digging down this hole. Like, hold on. This is what they're giving us, hot dog buns, as groundbreaking technology. And we're like, oh, hot dogs, ice cream cones, and we hamburger that was invented at the work. Meanwhile, all these grand structures were destroyed. You know, for whatever the flying cars. Oh, we got a hot dog bun? Oh, we used to walk around with a wiener in our hand before the World's Fair, like schleps. Like, come on. Wow. And like, it just, my point didn't get across. But on the subject of stadiums, Yankee Stadium, Matt, if you want to pull it up, 290 days to build in 1920 something in a New York winter. Like, I think they started at the end of the season or whatever, and it had to be finished before May or something along those lines. And it's not there anymore. And I know I'm going to lose some of you. I'm I'm not married to anything, but I hear a lot of theories. And I heard one that we might be in Rome. Yankee Stadium was the Coliseum. You have the Bronx River right there. They were able to flood it. And the Yankee Stadium's, the old one's destroyed now. But the fact that it was built in under 300 days, that sits well with you guys. And hey, listen, we're not all professional contractors here or architects, like people want to point out. But 180 days, like with no what did you have in 1920 something? You know, like more technology than today. Oh, they had no OSHA. More people would be hurt or dead. The number of 6 people on the Empire State Building is the perfect Vegas number. You know what I mean? Everyone's accepting it. 6, no OSHA. I don't know. I feel like more people. UPS wouldn't be wasting billions of dollars a year, FedEx, on safety if it didn't work.
Yeah.
Well, the number of people dead, they didn't count a lot of the minorities. They only counted white people that died. There was actually like 506 people that died, but only 6 whites. So that's why the numbers don't seem to make sense.
Well, it's really hard to make sense when you got to start doing fractional math. Then with what is it, 3/5, 2/5, whatever, 3/5 of a man. So let's just do heavy math first.
It is not a coincidence that racial and ratio sound alike. Okay, that's not a coincidence.
Well, listen, I'm trying to get more women to come on. I've been having comic guests, and no one really said anything. I do that. People in the street, no agenda. It could be any of you guys. Like, hey, we're just going to do this building. Just facts. I don't want you to agree or disagree. Whatever you feel is what you feel. And only white guys responded to my post. I'm going to make another one calling out women for the Brooklyn Bridge, like I mentioned earlier, about a woman finishing the bridge in 1885, and only one woman built a bridge since. And people point out the guy Roebling, his first bridge connected Kentucky and Ohio. They let him practice over the mighty Ohio before the East River because that's more important. And people, I always point out one of the red flags, it connected a free state and a slave state. The bridge builder was responsible for any slaves that got away. That's a red flag in my book, that the bridge was there already. Why would they let a bridge connecting a free state to a slave state? Like, that seems like an issue back then. I don't know.
Because they know where to look. They say, we know they're going to cross here, so we can just camp out here.
That just, to me, it's commerce. It's like, some slaves might escape, but we can start doing business and selling.
Bootlegging. We can sell liquor.
Yeah, money. It's all about the money. Follow the money. Very cool stuff, though. So this has been a cool learning experience. You know what? Maybe New York City schools might want to contract you to use some of your content to teach history to some of these kids. It's just it's really cool stuff. How far will you go?
How far?
Yeah.
The Great Wall of China, the Sphinx, riding camels. Come on, man. I'm going.
There you go. See, that's the line. Come on, man. I mean, that's the thing that hooks me in. I mean, make it make sense. Sure, I love that. But come on, man. That's your signature, your tagline. Come on, man.
It just comes out, man. I can't help it. Talk about this fictional character, Grandpa Bill, because everyone puts their ancestors on a pedestal. Like, I don't know, your grandma had a black eye, and look at the way he treated the black milkman. You know what I mean? Like, was he that special? Like, what other history are we not looking at? You know what I mean? Like, the real history of how people were back then, or just saying they built these buildings because they drank whole milk and were better than us. Like, come on, man.
Come on, man. I love that. You're from Rockaway.
Yeah,
right?
From Brooklyn, live in Rockaway now.
Oh, from Brooklyn, but live in Rockaway because
it's 10 minutes away.
Watch GD get upset when I bring up Feynman. Richard Feynman was a Nobel-winning physicist, Nobel award winner in physics, died in 1988. He's from East Rockaway. And one of the stories he was telling was when his father took him through a walk through the woods in East Rockaway. And I'm like, I've been to East Rockaway. I played gigs there a lot. I don't remember any woods there. Are there any woods left in the Rockaways at all?
Maybe the one that like separates like 5 towns in Far Rockaway, like the trees on the side of the 878 or whatever that little highway is.
Right. It's all urban now, right? I mean, there's nothing remotely rural about.
No, and especially Far Rockaway, they're really building up Far Rockaway now, just building all over Rockaway. It's like this thing's gonna sink. Like it's on sand. You know that, right?
Yeah, yeah. And parts of the place, because it's not far from like Breezy Point. I used to play down there all the time, and that place got wiped away. We were talking about Sandy earlier, and that what it did to the gas crisis here on Long Island. But a lot of that Sandy reshaped the whole geography down there where you live. So
I had a gig, a show, and I brought down a comic, Ryan Reese from the Comedy Cellar, and he's up there. He's like, "Oh, a whole community full of electricians, plumbers, and firemen, and you forgot to pull the switch down? It was an insurance job." Like, I was like, I never really thought about that. Like, there's so many plumbers, electricians, firemen. No one talked about putting the switch down so the houses didn't burn down when all the water came. Like,
right.
I never thought about that because you just think about all the destruction and Mother Nature and this and. Yeah. Like, oh, no one thought about switching the switch off, the power off, so everything didn't burn. All these wooden houses.
Crazy, man. So are you now? We want people to go check out. I have both your Facebook and Instagram for Make It Make Sense. Are you you're gigging currently? You're doing the stand up around the town?
I just did my first Comedy Cellar appearance the Sunday snowstorm, which is I did roast battle comedy Roast Battle has brought me to the Comedy Store, now the Comedy Cellar. That's like bucket list as a comedian. You know what I mean? And we put on a show, and it feels good. I have a bunch of shows this week, and a roast battle in Connecticut, a naked show in Bushwick, second time. You know what I mean? So my body didn't work. We're all fellas here. Like I wanted to the first time. I guess they like my jokes because it's the flight of fright of being naked in front of people. And as I walked up, my penis started crawling inside my body, and that's Thursday. If you're in the Brooklyn area and you want to see my new material.
Yeah, do you have to fuck on stage as well?
No.
You get the performance anxiety?
What? I've never heard of the naked shows before. Is it me?
Yes, you. Because
it's a Bushwick thing.
It's a Bushwick.
Well, I've heard about him in Maine, and it's funny that the places I've heard about him have all been cold places. I was in. I never heard of a naked show when I was performing in Florida or Georgia. Maine, Massachusetts,
Phoenix.
New
If I'm
Hampshire.
going to do a naked show, I want it to be in Phoenix, where it's 118 degrees.
You have to perform in that weird time, like towards the end of spring and towards the end of summer and into fall. That's the best time to perform those shows.
Yeah. Speaking of New York, though, Bushwick and Brooklyn, Queens, I'm a Long Island guy. Grew up here. Spent a lot of time in Florida and New Mexico. But for the most part, Long Island in my whole life. I'm fine now that I'm doing paint parties in people's houses, going to areas of New York that I've never been to before. I went to Greenpoint for the first time in my life, like 3 weeks ago. And it was just like, wow, look at it. This is just a different culture here. But Brooklyn in particular seems to be really taking off as a cultural place to go. Like it's for the arts, for filmmaking, for comedy, for whatever. It just seems to be taking off. Do you have any kind of insight into why all of a sudden Brooklyn is becoming a mecca for artists?
I guess the elephant in the room is probably gentrification for some reason. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I'm in Bushwick and I used to work at UPS, and I remember, I remember I was delivering down on the border of Ridgewood and Bushwick, and I saw like a hipster type dude. This is going back years ago. I'm like, this is something new to me in Bushwick, and then you go there now, and it feels like, I don't know. You go on Myrtle Avenue, like that Myrtle Wyckoff station. It's like it's just a different beast. Bushwick, Brooklyn right now. It's hard to explain. I can't explain it. Yeah. But,
and so there are places like Billy Wayne Davis was performing comedy in Brooklyn. I forget where, but walking down the street. And walk right past the place because there's no sign that says comedy here tonight. It looks like this could just be a pawn shop. It looks like it could just be a manufacturer or something. There's lots of these little venues that don't even look like bars or nightclubs at all, and they're having comedy in them. And they don't even put a sign out like Comedy Tonight or anything. You could just be walking down the street and not know there's a comedy show. You just walk past a venue. It's weird. It's just a very weird place to do shows. Yeah, have you?
Oh, sorry.
No.
It's been way, and just to clarify, I said gentrification, not in a good way or bad way, but I can't explain what changed in the neighborhood. I don't know. It looks like a lot of more imports. It's not like people from the Bronx or Manhattan moved to Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only thing. What else can we pinpoint it on, man?
I don't know. I thought at some point, maybe it got cheap to live there, but it's not cheap to live there. I know lots of people who live in apartments there are the size of my bathroom. The one I went to Greenpoint the other day, the entire apartment was maybe 150 square feet. It was tiny. And so the rents are still as high as ever. So I don't know what is bringing artists to the area, but I'm glad to see it.
I went for Peter Pan Donuts to record, make it make sense with a comic, but Peter Pan Donuts is top-notch donuts in Greenpoint. I was there the other day. I just did the Greenpoint Savings Bank, which is a dispensary now, which is awesome.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about it is you can walk around and just buy weed anywhere. A guy got busted here on the Long Island Expressway with 500 pounds of weed in his minivan, and he was like 20 minutes from Puspatak Reservation, where I think he could have just said, "I'm just going to make a delivery to this place." But people getting busted for weed. Does anybody buy weed from the weed guy, like the black market anymore? It's just all dispensary stuff, right? In New York?
Nah, there's the black market's it's still going.
Why? Because have you been to the reservation? Because the reservation is unbelievable. I get like a half ounce, $45. And it's not bad weed. It's good weed. So I'm like, why would you go to a black market guy when you can buy it legally? Half ounce for $45 is like, wow, I'm in heaven.
I can't explain Long Island and the reservations, and I don't even go to the ones out here, but just, I don't know. There's good numbers, Budweiser or Penwise in the black market. I don't know. I haven't been to the dispensaries, but I just know the New York State ones, which might be different than Long Island. The Bud was not top tier, like they say, and the Bud people, they're there working for a business. You know what I mean? You can't be honest to people at a dispensary, but if you're the black market guy, you're like, "Yo, listen, it's on fire sale this week or whatever it is." You know what I mean? Like, you can be honest. There's more flexibility. There's no big brother breathing down your neck.
No doubt about it. And I think a lot of these dispensaries are not necessarily doing the right thing as far as paying their taxes and stuff. I was at I'm not going to name it. It was one dispensary in Farmingdale, and I was counting the money while I was on lines out the door, and they did like $20,000 in the 15 minutes I was online waiting to get served there, all cash. And I'm like, if you do the math, if they're doing this all day, 7 days a week, they're just taking it hand over fist, and we're not seeing necessarily a booming economy in New York State because of it. So somebody's doing some stuff under the table there, and listen, who might have out them for that? Because I'm just happy that there is legal weed. I am happy because it's easier to get now. I don't have to go that far. I could just go down the block and get weed. Anyway,
I did a show in a dispensary on a reservation in like Sag Harbor or whatever it was. They had the symbol, I think maybe of the tribe, and of ice block with the dabs. So it was like smooth from the cold. I was coughing for like 20 minutes. It was one of the best things, like such a huge rig, but in honor of this huge weed event on this reservation and comedy. It was just awesome, man.
Excellent stuff. Well, anytime you do anything on Long Island, you have to let me know, because I will not only come and support you, but I'll try to get other people to come and support you as well. So that's what I was going to wrap this up with. Governors, you do Governors?
I tried getting in a couple of times, doing open mics there. I don't know. Just, I'll be honest, there's some like clickiness in life. Like, you never go like to someone's neighborhood, like, oh, everyone talks about each other in this town. No, that's every town. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
But there's like a clickiness. New Jersey, they'll smile in your face, but they'll not put you on the show. Long Island is like, no, this is my stage time. Oh, you're from Queens? No, go over there. I felt that big time. Very, very clicky. And there's some great Long Island comics. It's just, I don't like that energy. You know what I mean? Almost like, I'm offering edibles to people. They feel like I had my penis out. Like they're like, oh, like just like that standoffish. You know what I mean? Like I know I'm rough around the edges, but it's like
I'm from PA, and the times I've been in New York and New Jersey, yeah, you definitely feel that energy.
You don't feel it in PA? 'Cause I don't know. We talk to comics from all over the country, and I feel like almost everything involves networking, getting in with a group of people, whether it's tight cliques like here on Long Island, but it's definitely, there are gatekeepers and you have to be within a certain group of friends in order to be a house favorite in any place. But at least you're on Governor's Comedy Network this morning, and then now you can use that when getting gigs at Governor's or Brokerage or McGuire's, and I can definitely recommend you to Sticks and Stones out in the Hamptons. So hopefully we'll get you out here more. Appreciate you being on here, man. I appear not to end on a downer note, but my heart goes out to you, and thank you for being part of this, even though you're dealing with some heavy shit. And believe me, I know the heavy shit. Ron went through it last year too. It's a really rough thing. So,
JD with his cousin too. I apologize, like to everyone, man.
You didn't kill
Matt,
her.
We're all going through something, you know. But just I forgot. It made me forget about the podcast. I saw the message. I wiped the tears. I changed my shirt and I ran in here.
Big T. I found out about my cousin's death 2 hours before I was performing. I was about to go on stage, and my wife sent me a text. You know, one of those good luck texts. Have a good show. Oh yeah, your cousin died. You know, the one you liked.
That happened to me. My cousin passed. The one that came to my shows. The one mom.
Yes.
And then I was going, and I was like, "What do I do?" And I was like, I still went on stage, and it was probably unhinged ranting about just drug use, and like, because I knew he was going through it. I'm like, yo, come live with me. You know, when you try to do the steps and it happens anyway. Yeah. And I got up there. I just lost it on stage. I don't even know what I said. And I got out of there. You know, like, what the heck was that? Not knowing what I was going through.
I did fine, but I got to a part of the show where I was supposed to talk about my family. And then I realized I'm not going to make this. So I actually didn't talk. So, and that was like 20 minutes worth of material. I was like, okay, I'm going to skip that. Because I'm not going to make it. Yeah. I'm not going to make it.
Matt Knutson, who had been on this program a couple of times, he told me a story about he was performing, not in California where he's from, but the guy was announcing him. He could hear like introducing him, and he got a phone call from his wife. They were evacuating because of the fires. His family was being evacuated during the raging fires in California as he's getting introduced, and then he goes on stage to do a set. And I was like, man, how do you make people laugh while you're just concerned? You're a professional. You got to do the job. I was like, I guess I could never be a professional because I would be too distracted with that stuff. Anyway, so we do appreciate you being a trooper and being part of the program. And I will do anything I can. I feel, as I was saying before I introduced you, I feel like I owe you because you got me. You were the first guy who ever got me high on edibles.
Well, I appreciate you having me on, Matt. And even in the beginning when I was still trying to gain some traction, and like you had me on. You know what I mean? Like you gave me a chance, just like I guess the internet gave me a chance once I started, doing something that, wasn't my normal comedy routine. And
right.
I hope it does lead to gigs, and it will once I start integrating them together. But for now, I'm trying to do a little church and state, Yeah.
Well, what you're trying to put together a comedy festival, and I will definitely include you on that when we get the details together. And I will do anything I can to help you get some opportunities here on the Sandbar adjacent to where you live. So appreciate you being here. Have a great day. And
hey, you guys, thanks for
take
having
care
me.
of your heart, man.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. Links to both the Make It Make Sense on Instagram and Facebook there. I think he has a YouTube channel too. I should look that up and put that link in the description. Anyway, Big T, I hope his content is just great. It's not just informative, it's also funny and a little bit sometimes creepy. Or makes you think about, like, what the fuck were they thinking? Why so many demonic symbols in our architecture and stuff? So, anyway, Big T. That's it, Ron. You're doing a show at
Tomorrow night I will be at Ridge Run Tavern in Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania.
Elizabethtown.
Yeah, it's just a bar show, so it'll probably be insane. But yeah, it's me, Tyler Rothrock.
Speaking of insane, GD, your thing is stop the. Is that what it's called? Stop the insanity? What? This thing
Spotlight
you got
on Insanity.
Spotlight on Insanity.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's April 4th.
April 4th.
Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's at the Wealthy Theater, and it is also streaming live on Plausible. It's being hosted by Haphazard, the improv group Haphazard, and it features Beefman, Christy Wright, and myself.
Christy Wright. Do I know that she's been
Krista Wright.
Crystal, has she been on the show? She hasn't been on the show.
She's not been on the show. And I told all of them they should get on the show so we could promote the thing. But they're comedians, so I don't think they understand English.
Yeah, or promotion. They don't understand promotion. Well, you can't blame them. Promotion sucks. Yeah, it's a weekend. It's a weekend. You know what I'm doing, don't you?
Well, let me see here.
Painting. Fighting chickens.
Oh
no! You know what?
In a few hours, I'm going to be interviewing Glenn Dunswaller for Dumb Way Past Funny, so we could talk about his show Frank.
He was pretty good, right? He's been on the program twice. He was fun to talk to.
He's dealing with now he's out in L.A. now, but when he did the Skid Row speaking, that was in New York.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because isn't that where Skid Row is, New York?
No, every city's got a.
That's what I was going to say. Skid Row is in every town. In every America is the greatest country in the nation. Yeah, Skid Row is everywhere.
Okay, is that because he was doing?
Wherever Sebastian Bach goes.
Okay.
Yeah. What was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say now.
I think this one is in New York because one of the people I was watching said that he moved to New York because they were having financial troubles to live with some friends, and their friends stole all their money, and that's how they got to be homeless.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting. The filming he was doing, I think that was in LA's homeless. But there's not like a homeless district. It's everywhere, homelessness in LA. But yeah. If I were homeless, there's no way I'd stay in New York. I'd go someplace where it's warm. Miami Beach, San Diego, someplace where I know I'm not going to freeze to death overnight. Yeah. So yeah. But yesterday, Richard Sparks, great guest, fun to talk to. I learned something that it's still blowing my mind. This idea that the BBC was going to tape over the Monty Python series because they were too cheap to buy new tape. Is that fucking mind blowing? I mean,
well, that was common practice back then because nobody thought about franchises and stuff like that.
And if it would have happened, none of us would have ever got to on this side of the ocean. None of us would have ever got to appreciate the Monty Python Flying Circus stuff at all. But we were talking about if we prorate it, let's say $90 for the tapes, right? Prorated, even it's like we're talking a couple of $100. We're not talking like major money here. There's a network won't spring for fresh tape. We're gonna go over old tape.
Well, like I said, that was common practice. That's what they did. I mean, that's why it was a big deal for some people to own their own stuff. I think Desilu Productions, I think Lucille Ball, Ricky Ricardo, they bought all their own tapes. There was a few people that bought their old stuff so that they could, because they were thinking, I'd like to keep this.
Yeah. Mind-boggling to think of what might have been lost.
Oh, yeah.
Got taped over.
And what has been lost? I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't know everything that's been lost because, I mean, the stuff like, and some stuff aired live, and they recorded it so that they could show it on the other coast 3 hours later or something.
How the fuck did the Honeymooners survive if Monty Python almost got taped over? Because that was done live, right? And that was before videotape.
But I think it was recorded. I don't think it was before videotape. I think they recorded it because I think if it were done live, it was done on two coasts, right? Isn't that why they recorded it so that they could show it on the other coast 3 hours later?
Yeah. But I was.
It's not the first time though. This has happened to like other TV shows.
Yeah,
where they just like wipe it out.
Right. But now, but the amount of money we're talking about, because I think Richard. Listen, I got to go back and re-listen, but I'm pretty sure they had to go to George Harrison for the money. And again, even if we prorate it $90 from 1972 or whatever it was to today, you're only talking a couple hundred. You had to go to George Harrison to borrow the money or to finance to buy.
No, I think he went to George Harrison to finance Life of Brian.
Yeah, I know that. That's absolutely true. But he was saying, so he was driving home with a car full of tapes of the Monty Python stuff. And then I guess he made some money off of distributing them in America. So good for him. But it's just mind-boggling. Again, think about how much was lost, how much good stuff that got taped over that we'll never know.
I know that my old band tapes got taped over because I was using equipment from Local Origination. I used to work for Local Origination or volunteer for Local Origination, so they let me use their cameras and stuff to record my band, and those tapes got, erased.
I'm just thinking about like back in the day that people had like wedding videotapes and things like that. They got, they'd start watching them, then
in the middle, it's
that's some fucking TV show that somebody recorded.
Yeah. Some ridiculous.
Well, I know. Okay, and this is totally unrelated, but in the way it is, I used to record all of my guitar performances because sometimes I would perform live, do a solo live, and not know what I did, or even how I did it, and I'd have to learn I had to play it again so I could learn what I did because I would do something. I didn't even know I could do that, and so I had to learn how to do what I just did on demand. And so I had all these collections of all these guitar solos for me to learn from that I performed earlier. And my brother Bryant, the rapist, he was at my house when I wasn't there, and he was playing my guitars, and he wanted to record something, so he popped in my tape. Now my tape had the record lock on it. The little tabs.
Yeah. You'd have to put tape over.
Right, and that's what he did. He put the tape over it and recorded over my guitar solos. Oh man, my mother was like, I was so ready to kill him. I said,
and it was just dumb shit too, wasn't it?
Yes, it was the really good. The only thing he was doing, the only reason why he did it was because, like I said, he started playing guitar much sooner than I did, and he was a much better guitar player than I was. But he didn't play in a band. I was actually playing in a band. I was performing live. And that kind of like got to him. And so he erased those performances just so he could play some of the same shit that he played for me like years before. And I was, oh my God. If he hadn't died from AIDS, I think I would have killed him for some other thing.
Oh.
Well, not technically not AIDS. It was complications from AIDS. But same thing. I would have killed him anyway.
Anthony Jeselnik, where he's playing here. This is a Beefman post. I thought he was going to be performing here. I thought it was local. He's not local, so forget it.
Yeah, comedy on State.
Yeah.
I apologize. I should have said my brother the alleged rapist.
Yeah, that's the first time you've ever even hinted at that on this program. I mean, you talked about your brother, but I've never heard you say that.
Alleged rapist, yeah.
Or
alleged rapist. Pedophile.
Yeah. Well, that sucks. That sucks a lot.
He's dead now, so.
Yeah.
And I don't think his estate is coming after me because he doesn't have any kids.
Well, I know exactly what you're going through because I had a rapist who was a cat that died. I don't know.
And that is rough. That is rough.
Ever get raped by a cat? I mean, it's not so much the cat cock that it's the claws. Anyway,
because they don't want you to go away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just those last minutes, just before it reaches orgasm, it just
cat cock. That's the first time I ever thought about cat cock. I've never.
It's not the first time you thought about it. It's the first time you mentioned it on the air.
You know what? You're absolutely true because you're right about this. Because when we got the kittens were born in the yard, and I still to this day, I mean, with cats, you can't. My wife said, "Oh, they're both female," and I took them to get spayed, and they're both male. And I took them to get fixed, and the vet said, "No, not male. Neither one of them male. They're both female." It's like, well, my wife said they were male. I guess they're like
you can actually. There is a way you can tell. You just have to be willing to lift up the tail and look at their anus.
And what is
if I remember correctly,
if it winks at you, it's a guy.
I think the females have like a small opening and a larger opening.
So that's the first time I thought about cat cock, if I'm being completely honest. And that was 10 years, 11 years ago now. My introduction to cat cock thought. You're on Podmatch now?
No, I never did sign up. And that's mainly because I forgot. That's all. I was just so freaking busy with other stuff I forgot.
I'm getting like lots and lots of requests from people because we're getting good reviews from the people who do shows over from Podmatch who come on here. They leave good reviews, and now we're getting lots of requests from there. And you know me, I can't say no. No matter what it is, I can't say no. I have a problem with saying no. When the guy said, "Can I take your amp for free?" Yeah, sure, go ahead. And then I cried about it.
Then he said, "Can I give you more money for this?" You went, "No."
Yeah, no, I can't say no. If he would have said that, I would have been stuck. I would have said yeah, because I can't say no. I'm incapable of saying no, especially with money. Like this is the problem with gigs.
We know you know how to say no, so you can stop saying you don't say no. You do. We know you know how to say no.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
No. All right, Jackie's on Mark Simone right now on 710 WOR in New York City, so promoting his gig for tonight. He wouldn't come here to promote his gig. Yeah, I would have said, now you have to have Big T as an opener for you because you've been on the same show with them. That's what I would have said. All right, it's time to wrap this fucking nonsense up. Go and check out Make It Make Sense. Come on, man.
Don't forget to check out the Reverend Sunday on this very channel where you are right now. You can watch the Reverend on Sunday morning at the same time. Well, at 9 a.m.
Let me ask you about that since you are his like executive producer.
Yeah,
I don't see anything in the bucket for that.
That's because he didn't know what he was going to do.
That's fine, but do we know now what?
Yeah, I'm going to create the bucket today or later today. He's going to do. I haven't looked at these are the options. Okay, Take Me to Church by Hozier, God Is Dead by Black Sabbath, and Jesus Christ Pose by Soundgarden.
What was the other song about from Hozier? He had another song about God that was really. What was the one you just mentioned? Because I'm fucking dementia.
Take Me to Church.
That's like their.
Take Me to Church. That's the one I'm thinking. Yeah, that's a great song.
That's like one of their worst songs, honestly.
I haven't looked at the lyrics yet. I have to look at the lyrics to see.
They have much better songs than that song.
You say they? I thought it was just one guy because whenever I see him, he's just doing acoustic. And
maybe him or whatever, but. There are a couple songs that are really good. That honestly, I think that church song is the weakest.
I was expecting that guy to take off. Yeah, it is just one guy. I was expecting him to take off after that because that song was everywhere when it was out. Like they Take Me to Church. It's one guy. It's almost his birthday. Happy birthday! 35 years old. Jeez,
baby, he's a fucking baby.
Yeah, but in rock and roll terms, he's over the hill.
Ancient.
He's over the hill.
Well, it depends. It depends on the genre also.
Right.
And yeah, well, the thing is, if you're already established, you can play rock and roll until you're in your 90s. But you can't start playing rock and roll in your 90s. you know, if you started when you're 20, you can play for 70 years. But once you hit 70, you have no years.
Well, this guy, he was born in 1991, right? If he's 35, yeah. March 17th, 1990. So he'll be 36 next week on St. Patrick's Day, and he's Irish. Hey, how about that?
So that's got to be fortuitous.
Well, and it's also good for the rep doing it this week because it kind of ties in. It's the St. Patrick's week, right? There you go. There's your tie-in.
No, it's right. This is tomorrow. Sunday is the 8th.
Right.
The 15th would be St. Patrick's week. So he could wait till the 15th to do it.
Then you have to.
But like Matt says, the Irish are just drunk all the time. So what does it matter?
Did I say that? I don't remember saying that, but I think there's some truth to it. Every Irish guy I know, listen, I really can't say, and I know a lot of Irish guys because New York and Long Island especially, it was Italian and Irish, a lot of that.
A lot of drinking and a lot of anger.
Angry drunks. That's what I was just going to say, because all the Irish guys, you got your happy drunks and your Irish drunks. Every Irish guy I know who's a heavy drinker, and that's all the Irish guys I know. They get angry when they get drunk. They want to own the house. They're the guy, they're that drunk. They're not the "I love you, man."
Those are fighting words.
Yeah. All right. So let's tell people what to do. I don't know.
Oh, one question, Matt. You were kind of like a Beach Boys fan. Do you know the song "God Only Knows"?
Yes, I do. I love that song, but I'm not. What makes you think I'm a Beach Boys? That probably, I think maybe one of 3 Beach Boys songs that I can even stand. I'm not a big Beach Boys fan. I just
he's just a fan of Mike Love.
No, I hate Mike Love more than anything. I did appreciate Brian when he got like really. I like the I like the affected Brian Wilson more than I like the straight Brian Wilson. But no, Mike Love, he's not a good guy. I don't like Mike Love. And it's also, he takes credit for shit that he had. What. He doesn't deserve the credit. Brian Wilson deserves all the credit for all of their stuff. And listen, they could all sing, but Mike Love, where does he get off being the face of the modern?
There's no one left.
That's kind of true, right? Isn't it true?
Yeah. Maybe what we don't know about the Beach Boys is that maybe there is some kind of secret treasure that it was buried, and the final surviving member of the original lineup gets to keep the treasure.
Well, God only knows. Surfer Girl, believe it or not, the harmonies in that are just fucking incredible. I can't think of another Beach Boys song. You could talk about Good Vibrations, the production on it, but I don't love the song, but the production is great. But I can't think of another Beach Boys song that I would say, yeah, that's a good song. Can you, other than the 3? You might not even think the 3 that I mentioned, but any Beach Boys songs that like, oh yeah, that's a great song.
I'd have to
Kokomo.
That's a theremin, right? That doing that.
I thought it was one of the Vienna Boys choir members.
Could have been. Yeah. Anyway, so
can you imagine that being a Vienna? Can you imagine being a castrata for a living?
No.
I mean, how much would you have to love music to be a castrata?
You know what? I'm gonna out myself as a show tune guy here. Hold on, let me get my panties. Yesterday, in the local news, there was a guy who was caught. He wasn't caught. They posted this picture, wanted for petty larceny, a guy stealing groceries. And in the thread, a lot of people were saying, well, you know what, stealing groceries, he's fucking hungry. You know, that's the criminals of the grocery store. And it got to a little political thing where the conservatives are saying, what good is locking him up anyway? He could let him right back out of these criminals. I was like, somebody's stealing groceries. It's not like you're stealing them to go sell on the street. It's not like he's fucking broke and hungry, right? I mean, that's not like a industrial crime thing. Like you're looking to make money off of stealing groceries, right? Petty less. So you got to take some leniency. They're posting this picture and like let's go get this bad criminal. And I started to think about Jean Valjean, like the Les Miserables. Stealing a loaf of bread for his starving sister, gets thrown in prison. Then he's escaping from prison, and they give him like a 20-year sentence. When he finally gets out, he's staying overnight at a bishop, and he steals the candlesticks, and he's going to sell the candlesticks, and the cops bring him back, and the bishop says, no, I gave them to him, like that act of mercy. And Jean Valjean changed his whole life because of that. Like, I feel like people are just we were taught that in school for a reason, this idea of mercy and that people can be redeemed. And so to make this guy out like he's a fucking America's #1 most dangerous criminal, fucking stealing groceries. He's not a criminal.
Meantime, you have Donald Trump stealing billions of dollars from American taxpayers, and he's not in jail because he hasn't stole bread.
Right. Kristi Noem setting up a business for her friend and giving him 140 8 days later, giving him a government $143 million from our taxpayers to this guy who he never had a government contract before. Pam Bondi doing business with her brother, who was a defense attorney, and dismissing all those cases and taking money from people. All these people are being corrupt, and we're going to go after a guy who stole bread and milk to feed his family and like make him out. This we've just gone off the cliff here with what's really a criminal in that. Not that the guy should just get a free pass on it. And somebody said to me, if he broke into your house and was stealing from your refrigerator, would you feel the same way? And yes, that's the point here. If somebody,
go ahead. I would stop him, you know, but I
honestly, I think I would say, if I caught somebody in my refrigerator stealing food out of my refrigerator, I'd say, you want to have a meal? Sit down. I'll cook. Honestly, if you're that desperate that you're breaking into my house to steal a hamburger or a steak or whatever it is, you're in bad shape. My heart goes out to you. And let me see. I mean, I'm not letting you move in. But I will cook you a meal and say, like, how can we get you back on your feet again, man? If you're that desperate that you're breaking into my house of all houses. So, yeah, and I caught so much shit for saying, you know what?
Now, on the other hand, if you broke into your house and you said, I need something to eat. I hope you don't mind, I killed one of the chickens in the backyard. Then you have to be like, okay, you're going to answer to my wife for that.
I would say, that's exactly what I'd say. Don't let my wife find out. Take a chicken and run. That's a Woody Allen movie. I don't know if you remember that Woody Allen movie, Take the Chicken and Run.
Is that a line from a movie? Or is that an actual
No, it was Take the Money and Run, but it was.
Oh, okay.
Take the money and run. Take the chicken and run. Yeah. So, but so I caught a lot of shit for that, and I was like, and then I started going down pulling up to Jean Valjean. This guy became the mayor of the town and became merciful and lived a good life because he was shown mercy. Again, guy went to jail for stealing a loaf of bread to feed his starving sister. You gotta where are people's hearts at? We've lost empathy. We've lost any decency. And again, sorry to go here, but all these are people who call themselves Christian. I'm pretty sure that the message, if you take away all the magic, all the miracles, and all the stuff, the idea of sharing your food you have with people who are starving is definitely a Christian principle. And if you can't if you can't resonate with that, stop calling yourself Christian. Just call yourself secular, whatever. I don't give a shit. You know, tell the truth. You're not a Christian.
Well, it's like that video of these the evangelicals all around Trump praying for him. It's like, you know, this guy is connected to fucking kids, right?
Not only that, he just blew up a elementary school of 170 kids. Originally, the number was 40. Now it's 100.
Yeah, originally it was 40.
Yeah, now it's up to 175 people, but 5 of them were adults. The 170 who died were young girls under the age of 12. Bombed them.
And that upsets Trump because those are all potential dates.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. They were Iranian, so maybe not. You know.
Well, you know, look, sometimes you can't tell the difference between a Slovenian and an Iranian. Sometimes.
That's true. All right. So, either one of you guys want to?
Look, I'm just going to say, look, don't forget to check out the Reverend Sunday morning and walk around nappy.
to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me.